Ladies and gentlemen of the living and the dead, my name is Ari Esther, and I'm your friendly neighborhood community offender who fears all things horror. Happy Monday! Happy Monday! I sound so much more excited about the fact that today's Monday than I actually am. Hello, hello, hello! You may also address me as Garfield. I love lasagna, and I hate Mondays. Welcome in. How are y'all doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Ronnie. What's up? Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day, even if it's Monday. Hello, CJ fan. Hi. I hope they have an amazing time. Thank you. I hope so too. You're a great, thoughtful streamer. Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I think there are people who would disagree with you, but thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Hello. It is so hot today. I'm dying. I'm melting. It is 85 degrees at 7 p.m. That is not okay. Not okay. Once dinner is over, it should be 70 degrees or less. It's alright. We're almost at September. Almost! Not quite, but almost. Hopefully in about 3 weeks, I will be free from the sun. I say that like I would be alive without the sun, but you know, whatever. I don't science. I'm a necromancer. I'm not like a physicist or whatever. Anyway, welcome in everyone. Hello. We are starting a new game today. We are playing Tyrion Cuthbert. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. I barely speak English. Attorney of the Arcane. And this is supposed to be like an Ace Attorney-esque game from what I have read. As y'all know, I refuse to do any research on games I play beyond checking out the Steam page and reading the reviews. Because I like to make my life a lot harder than it actually is. And I don't want to be spoiled. And if I suffer, I suffer. It is what it is. I'm an adult and I take responsibility for my own actions. But let's get the game open. It actually already is open. I hope it's capturing. I'm very bad at this technology thing, in case you guys can't tell. You guys cannot tell. And of course, it's not capturing now, even though it was capturing fine approximately 10 minutes ago. Let me see if I can fix it. Hold, please. Everything is going so well. Oh, I just clicked on something I shouldn't have clicked. Hold on. I know what I'm doing. Hello, Brondo! Welcome to my stream, where I totally know what I'm doing, and you can never get an experience quite like this one, where your stream knows exactly what to do at any time. Black screen Black Mirror episode? Bro, my life feels like a Black Mirror episode sometimes. Oh, look, it's working! Alright, let's get the screen open so I can see if I'm dropping frames. Guess we're playing nothing today? Wow! Very negative today, aren't you, One Brain Cell? Just like your name. Rude. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing here. I just want to play games. But, you know, life's hard. Hashtag first world problems. Alright, so this is... We're playing... How does one English? Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. And apparently, I found this out, like, yesterday when I downloaded the game. There's, like, a whole... The entire game got patched. Like, sometime last year. And, like... They, like, rewrote some of the chapters or something. And the graphics was improved or something. I didn't read the patch notes. I read the title and approximately 2 keywords in the paragraph because I hate reading. And so I guess we're playing the newest and bestest version, which is really funny because I bought this game 2 years ago. Don't judge me. I like having games in my library. So we're playing the newest and greatest version of this game. So it's very exciting. No comparison because I've never played the game. And so we're going in, we're clicking new game and going with it. Oh, it is very Ace Attorney-esque. They even have the little screen at the beginning. How fun! For those of you who have not played Ace Attorney, it was originally released on DS, the Nintendo DS. And so you could click through the episodes like this to go into the episode that you want. Like the design. Okay, we're going with case 1, the cold-hearted aristocrat. Play episode. You're about to start the cold-hearted aristocrat. Absolutely. Absolutely. I cannot wait. Oh. Well, nice of them to name their kingdom a word I cannot pronounce. In the kingdom of Withengard, I don't know if that's how you say the word. If it's not, I'm sorry. That's just how I'm going to say it. There was a gulf between what was lawful and what was just. Wow. Why are there so many words that I cannot say? Artificery. I don't know what that means. Artificery ran in the house of the aristocrats. Disease and vermin ran through the homes of the common folk. People suffered, people died. Also, the mages of the nobility could keep their plates full and their lives comfortable. Ooh! We got some classism going on in this game. Nevertheless, they still wanted us to have the illusion of hope. You know, I did not realize this game was going to be this dire. They challenged us to win, leaving out the fact that they were the ones setting the rules. Many just threw up their hands and no one could blame them. You can never lose if you never played. How I live my life. Oh! Oh, the art is quite pretty! Also, this is quite loud. This is quite loud for me. It was okay on the screen, but it's a little loud. Hang on. I'm gonna just turn it down a smidge. It's probably not that loud for you guys, because the capture's pretty low on you guys' side. I'm gonna turn it down a smidge, about 25%. And then let me up the capture so it's not silent for you. I'm doing great, guys. I've been streaming for so long, I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. Alright, let's go back. Oh, look at these pretty art. Okay, hang on, I'm getting distracted. Reese Rudolph, occupation servant, age 34, arcane art none. What's an arcane art? Is it like magic? I want to do magic. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. That was when I saw the defendant lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flynn hard and her sword was shining with magical energy. Wow, so dramatic. Objection. Anyone were objecting? This is our MC, I'm guessing. This is our MC, Tyrion Cuthbert, occupation defense attorney, age 20? Huh? Did you even go to law school? Bro, I'm a little worried. 20-year-old defense attorney. Do you guys think he finished law school? It's like, I would expect him to be at least 22, 4 years of law school at least, but no, apparently, things work differently in this world. Arcane art, none. I don't know what that means. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so. Yes, I could never forget it. It was burned into my memory. The art in this game is quite pretty, me likey. I see, it's funny that you say that. Alright. Tyrion looks a little too serious to be me. I could never be this serious. What? Ooh. Oh, damn. Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. I love it when people in the game know something that I don't. Oh no, he's shocked. He says, what? Oh, who's this? She's so pretty. She's so pretty. She low-key looks like that girl from Fire Emblem. Arya Steelwind. Wow. Occupation prosecutor. Age 18! Apparently you don't need to go to law school to become a prosecutor. Or a defense attorney. A little worried, but okay. Arcane art evocation. I don't know what that means. What are you trying to imply, Mr. Cuthbert? That your witness is lying? I mean, like, is that even a question? Are you really gonna waste your words on that? Objection! You weren't even there! Absolutely, one brain cell. I mean, I wasn't, so, who am I to judge? Ooh! Death slam! Death slam! Still win. Think about the state of the crime scene. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Okay. Maybe their rules and institutions were impossible. Maybe I was just a grain of sand trying to stand against an ocean. But I would never stop rising, no matter how many times they tried to drown me. I would do it again and again if it meant that I could give hope to even one person. Oh, he's that kind of MC. A little too, optimistic. I'm a jaded, elderly woman. That was why I fought. Speak for yourself, but I'm proud of you. Phase 1, the cold-hearted aristocrat. Oh, okay. Either we're going back in time or we already won. Sweat was soaking through my suit. The air of the countryside was choking me. It's really funny? Everyone else, they'll dress fancy, and there's Tyrion in, like, a funeral suit. I fumbled with the leather reins, tucking in them tightly. Oh. Apparently the horse speaks. Occupation, horse. Age 5. Arcane art, none. It's a little rude to call a horse, If you're gonna list his occupation a horse, you should at least give him a name. I'm gonna name the horse Peanut. Because it's orange. Peanut says, when did this idiot learn how to drive? Animals were funny like that. You never know it, but they were constantly making their objections known. Yeah, because you called it a horse. It has a name. It's Peanut. Officer Peanut Butter. I caught many complaints like that through my eye of Horus. I thought you don't have any arcane arts or whatever. Alright, pretty lady. Ruby Tamora, Cuthbert, keep the carriage steady. Occupation attorney, age 46! Ma'am. Ma'am, are you sure you don't do magic? You look like you're 21, ma'am. Arcane art, none. What a lie. Her arcane art is immortality, because look at that face! Forge. Beautiful. Why can't I be Ruby? Why do I have to be Tyrion? I want to be Ruby. Wait, did she die? Did she die like Mia? Oh, never mind. I guess I don't want to be Ruby. Well, the baddie? Isn't she hot, Rondo? Why can't we be the hot lady? I want to be the hot lady. Why do these games always keep me away from being the hot lady? Ruby Tamora, occupation attorney, age 46. My mentor and legal guardian. She raised me after my mother was killed and taught me everything I know about being an attorney. She's so pretty. Yes, Miss Tamora. My mentor barely looked up from her runestone. She was staring at some magical projections, probably some court files from a case she was working on. Oh, they're magical projections. You're telling me you guys have magical projections? And you need to go to court to solve a crime? Okay. I stayed longer than I should have. I just passed the legal certification exam, which only meant that a runestone of my own was coming my way. So, no law school. You just, you know, inherit law expertise from your mentor. Kilo! We'll get on time in the spotlight, just not today. Rip. I want to be that hot. I just had to prove myself, and this trip was the perfect opportunity, huh? You'll regret that soon. Ooh, who's this? Dissidence was brewing in the countryside, and we were on our way to meet with one of the voices of the revolution. You know, whoever wrote this game has a vocabulary that's vastly superior to me. I have never used the word dissidence before. I barely know what it means. I'm probably wrong about what it means. The village we were driving to was nearly at the edge of the eastern border, far from the capital city in the kingdom's center. Here, we ran the risk of running into the military forces deployed to silence voices like his. I see. Whoever this Flintheart McCoy was, Miss Tamora's business with him must have been worth all this trouble. Okay, we're going back in time. Pretty sure McCoy was the victim. Miss Tamora, maybe you should switch with me. And what would you learn if I did that? Exactly. Maybe I was worried about nothing. Practical experience is always a key part of learning whenever she was involved. She's trying to teach you how to rein a horse? Why else would she quietly sit there immersed in her court files? Because she's a passenger princess! As she should be. Apparently we ran into a child. That rock just streamed out in pain. Oh no. Do you have insurance, Tyrion? Do you have insurance? Please tell me you have insurance. I grabbed the reins and pulled them with everything I had. The horse is slowed to a stop. His name is Peanut Butter! Officer Peanut Butter. The child was lying face down in the dirt. A puddle of red was pulling under her. Oh no, we killed someone! The game has barely started and we've already committed manslaughter. Scaled Lord. I wasn't sure what to do. I wish I never procrastinated reading those first aid books. I looked at my mentor. She approached the scene quietly and slowly. Her eyes went to the child and to the surrounding forest. She seems to be searching for something. So is the child dying or not dying? She was wearing the same expression she used when expecting a crime scene. So is the child dying or are they not dying? Like, did Tyrion, like, is he gonna need a lawyer of his own? Or is this gonna be okay? Maybe we can pay her under the table, make this whole thing go away? Why would a kid be on the middle of nowhere? That's what you're worried about? You're not worried about, you know, me going to jail for manslaughter? No? Miss Tamora? I say we keep driving and never speak of this again! Wait, she really said, you know, you ran someone over and they may be dead. But since there are no witnesses, let's not worry about it. We both keep quiet. And, you know, whatever. It's gonna be just fine. Miss Tamora, she's just a child. Oh, never mind. She's alive. The child is not dead, just injured. Can still sue us though. For bodily harm. With a, what do they call it? Injury? By something. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Sure, words were said before. Oh, the pain. I can see the light. Yes, ma'am, whatever Ruby said. You know what? She's not wrong. You know, this looks like a swindler right here. How do we know she didn't run into the road, forcing us to run her over for insurance money? Two sides to every story. Keep it pushing. Okay. Where the hell is he? That was his cue. Oh, I might be right about the swindler part. I caught a puzzling thought through my eye of Horus. Apparently we can read minds, guys. We might as well be crowned Attorney of the Year. Late to his cue, a man clad in plate armor leaped out of some nearby bushes and stumbled towards us. He planted his feet firmly on the ground in front of us, puffing out his chest. First time meeting the MC of a story? By the scale, Lord! Look what you've done! All night. Can't even speak in the right cadence. It's look what you have done. Doesn't sound right when you say look what you've done. You know, look what you have done. Sounds a lot more dramatic. It's giving you a lesson on being a swindler. You're apparently really bad at this. The scale lord, I think I can see him. Can you really? Neither of you got eyes, so I don't know how you're seeing anything. My family who all died of the plague in 589. They're also there. I need context. Is 589 like 500 years ago? It was like yesterday. Her lies were historically accurate. Doesn't tell me anything. Damn it, Alma. Mentioning that plague is overkill. Okay. The knight is very distraught. Are they even a knight? You should have been like, knight? Question mark. Because what if they're not a real knight? I mean, you put a question mark for their occupation, so why would you not put it next to their name? You weren't even there, you got no opinion on this? Exactly. I don't go here. I just click buttons. This poor child, she's dead because of you. Wow, excellent acting. Excellent acting. This is a serious crime! The fine is 10, no, 20 gold pieces! Look at that carriage. They're probably aristocrats visiting house peers. House what? 20 gold pieces? The average sentence for vehicular manslaughter was 2 years of imprisonment! So you know what you've done, Tyrion. You know, glad to hear he at least know his law. He's doing better than I am. Vehicular manslaughter, that's the word I was looking for. Obtained evidence, vehicular manslaughter. In the kingdom of Withengard. The average I don't think I'm saying this right. I don't sound posh enough when I'm reading this. In the kingdom of Withengard, the average sentence for vehicular manslaughter is 2 years of imprisonment. There is no fine. I have no choice but to arrest you unless you can pay this fine. Yeah, that's what this is. Yeah, Ruby. You see through this, right? Right? Swindlers don't change no matter what century they live in. I side-eyed the child, apparently named Elma. I spotted tiny tomato seeds in her pool of blood. Oh. Oh. Tomato doesn't even look like blood. You might want to call somebody to retrieve Elma's body. Then yeah, I require a full autopsy. Start by cutting right into her chest and peeling the skin back. Her eyes open and her head whipped up to look at me. Oh, so she does have eyes. We locked eyes for a second before her head fell back to the ground. I looked at my mentor again, but she just leaned her head and gestures towards the two con artists. It appears I was being given another learning opportunity. Oh, you say I can't just punch him in the face and run away? No? Okay. I couldn't complain, though. I didn't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Called out the fraud. Exactly. Call out that fraud. Oh, this is the tutorial, y'all. This is the tutorial. We're going into an argument with the knight. They're not even the knight. Stop calling him knight. You should put a question mark behind the knight. You've started an argument. Defeat your opponent by lowering their confidence. Picking the correct options will do damage to your opponent. However, picking the wrong option will do damage to your confidence. Use context and clues to determine which option to pick. What a silly game. I'm always right. Oh, they renamed him to con artist. Anyways, what will it be? He'll be taken to the barracks. Well, you pay your fine, or we do need to sort this out of the barracks. Not in prison? During arguments, you'll sometimes be asked to pick one from three possible dialogue responses. The correct dialogue will depend on the context of your opponent's claim and their psychological profile. You telling me to gaslight people? Because that's what I do best. Actually, gaslight gatekeep girl boss gameplay? Absolutely. I cannot wait to be the worst person possible. Certainly, why don't you bring us back to your barracks? Comply. Okay, I guess we can spare that much gold. Excuse me? Negotiate. This was obviously just an accident. Can't you overlook this? We don't negotiate around here. Especially not when money is involved. Certainly! Why don't you bring us back to your barracks? I'm feeling spicy, y'all. I'm feeling spicy. Oh, I got him! He goes, what? Yeah. Yeah. Feeling spicy. But it is strange that you bring us to your barracks instead of the dungeon! Tyrion like barracks? Damn, what nice treatment. I thought you were gonna lock me up where I can't see the sun. That got him. I thought he's a con artist! Why did you change it back to knight? Is he a knight or is he a con artist? You also probably want to call your unit to escort us. Yeah. I can do, I don't know, taekwondo. After all, it'd be dangerous for one knight to transport two criminals by himself. Feeling spicy. Oh, he's losing his confidence. Shut up, don't think you can talk your way out of this, but I already am. By the way, I think his wyvern said like wyvern guard, like on guard. Wyvern guard. Wyvern guard. I don't speak English. Whatever. So fancy. What a fancy name. Pay the fine for your crimes. Are you seriously gonna make me take you in? Just pay the damn fine. During arguments, you'll sometimes be asked to present pieces of evidence in response to claim. Look at your opponent's claim carefully and present the item that contradicts it. I present vehicular manslaughter. Except a crime like this wouldn't involve a fine at all. What? Man, do your research, bro! What kind of con artist are you? What kind of con artist are you? Vehicular manslaughter has an average sentence of 2 years of imprisonment. With the death of a child, though, I could see the crown pushing for more than that. Who the hell are you? Don't know. I'm new here. Also, I can't believe the sentence for vehicular lamb. I keep wanting to say vehicular lamb slaughter. I can't believe the sentence for vehicular manslaughter is only 2 years imprisonment. Like, you could just run over someone and be like, and do like, you know, run your carriage into like the person who killed your father, and they'll be like, oh, 2 years in prison. Like, how is that punishment. It's no punishment. It's like 2 years of vacation. You know, free food. Nice bed. It's like, it's, you know, it's nothing. So I'm just doing my job. Oh, apparently he's really bad at his job. I'm a defense attorney. I could recite every one of the kingdom's law back to you. Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great, con artist. The knight looked nervously between Miss Tamora and me. That's it! That's a what? His hand shot to the rusty sword hanging from his side. Damn! Damn. You could get sick from that, I'm just saying. You could get tetanus. Did you get your shots? He fumbled with it for a bit before pulling it out and waving it. That probably doesn't have his tetanus shots. With chance of parole, don't forget the parole release early is not for good behavior. Right? You know, you could just murder someone and be like, oops, I didn't see them. Run them over, and then it's like, you know, a year in prison. What a good deal, if you ask me. I'm not saying that, you know, you should take advantage of the system, but it kind of feels like a good system. Man's laughter is how I say it. I don't know why I want to say vehicular lamb slaughter so badly. Hi, looks like you don't have a subscription button yet, huh? Don't you have to, like, apply for that or something? I don't know. Don't you have to be, like, partnered or something? I don't know. I don't know how Twitch works. What's up, Katie Cat? How's it going? I'm talking crap on this con artist. How's it going, Muto? Welcome in. Welcome in. You're in for me being extra spicy today. Because we're a lawyer. You doing good? Happy for you. Happy for you. Your day's going much better than this con artist I'm grilling. Hopefully you get it soon. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. Alright, the con artist fumbled with it a bit before pulling out the waiting. Oh yeah, that's right, his rusty sword that could give him tetanus. I took a step back, my mentor put herself in front of me. What a boss! I'll use violence if I have to. Enough talk, give us the gold and I won't have to hurt either of you. I can't move that well in this fake armor. Tyrion is like Anya. Just like read people's minds for funsies. During arguments, your Eye of Horus will show you your opponent's thoughts and emotions after they make a claim. Compare your opponent's thoughts to the claim to pick the correct option. Stand back, Ruby will protect you. Ruby, I'll protect you. Damn, one brain cell has known Ruby for approximately 10 minutes. They're already in love. You're welcome. Sing a good stream. More people discover you. Thank you, Katie Cat. I will do my best. I would do my best. I would do my best. I hope I'm a better streamer than I'm a lawyer because I'm doing very unwell when it comes to knowing the law. Alright, okay. What should we do? Logic. Use when the opponent's thought contradicts the evidence. Intuition. Use when the opponent's thought contradicts their claim. Oh, God. Use when, empathy. Use when the opponent's emotion contradicts their claim. Wait, so is this the evidence or is that their thought? Okay, we're going with intuition. Rondo, we're going with intuition because that's what a goat would do. I stared at his plate armor. On a closer look, it seemed to be varnished wood, painted to give off a metallic sheen. Wait, what? Wait, give me some of that. That sounds cool. I reached past his sword and knocked on his breastplate. It let out a hollow thunk instead of a resonant clang. You're doing great, con artist. Keep it up. I didn't know the kingdom was cutting back. Would this even protect you in a fight? No, I changed my mind about Tyrion. He's spicy. I like him. Are you threatening me? No. A threat is like, give me all your money or I will cut your head off. I'm simply telling you the facts. With litigation, perhaps? You know, Tyrion is a lot spicier than Phoenix is. It's because he's young. He's not bogged down by age. I have a sword. You won't use it. You what? What? Look, let's just cut the charade. It's not happening. Argument 1! I mean, you should never pick a fight with a woman. Elma rose from the dead and began wiping the rotten, crushed tomato off her shirt. Sorry, I thought that stuff about the plague would help. I'm tired of eating porridge. Don't worry about it. It's still morning. Someone else will come by. They're like, we're not giving up. Elma, you only have to die 10 more times. The road's been empty for days. What if they're the only ones? We can hear you! I'm standing right here! The Kingdom of Wyverngard, established 613 years ago by the 7 High Archmages. Okay, so 589 years ago is a long time. Ruled by King Olivier and the mages of his nobility. They often preached that our large kingdom was a land of prosperity and happiness, a nation where its people shared the wealth and succor created by its magical... I don't know what that word means! Sup, Crow? How's it going? I'm trying to understand the vocabulary being used in this game. It's quite difficult. Can't knock on the con artist hustle. Real recognizes real, game recognizes game. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Go steal someone else's money. I'm down. Just not mine though, because I like money. Tyrion is going to share his sandwich with Elma. That actually looks real good. Y'all, he's got a BLT right there. With cheese. I took out a neatly wrapped sandwich from my satchel and handed it out to Elma. You'll probably find this more filling than porridge. The man narrowed his eyes, appraising me like the knight he'd be impersonating. He snatched the wrapped sandwich from me, peeling back the bread to inspect its contents. You know what? Rightfully cautious. Might not be a good con artist, but you know, he's got good intuition. His mouth salivated. He's caught a whiff of the sliced deli meat. No poison to be found, apparently. He handed it to Elma, who eagerly began munching down on it. I was probably the first person to share any wealth or succor with them in a long time. What does the word succor mean? Why must you use big words? What, just because you're a lawyer? Looking down at us non-lawyerly folks. Just tell me one thing. It's not a knight, he's a con artist! This game is so wishy-washy with its, names. What gave it away? What do you mean? I spent a while sanding this armor down. I had to go through 3 attempts just to get it perfectly smooth. I even mixed the paint myself. It's got that sheen and everything. Yeah, you don't... Can't you, like, pass the formula of that paint? That sounds really impressive. How'd you know it was fake? I thought to myself for a while. Clearly went for woad, matter, and weld for your paint. I'm also guessing you used a touch of gall ink for the shadows? Speak English, Tyrion. JK, I don't speak English either. They're decent choices if you're trying to paint a shield, but they're useless if you're trying to mimic the complex nooks and edges of plate armor. Tyrion is not just a lawyer, he's an artist too. He apparently makes props in his spare time. He just blinked at me. Seriously? I don't know, man. I don't go here. Plate doesn't tint that way. Real plate catches the ambient light in cold tones. Your mix was a little too warm. He shook his head, wide-eyed. Hello, Ruby! Looking great. Sorry for trying to scam you, but I gotta ask. You see the fan? You know, he's open to critiques. Trying to make his next come better. You gotta respect that. Before you arrest me, I gotta know. I gotta know how to improve on my con. Cuthbert, was that stuff about the paint really true? No, I just read it from his mind! Damn. Tyrion really pulling an Anya right here. Think we could be friends. Ain't I clean though? Very. See the look on his face? I kind of understand why my mom enjoyed fortune telling so much. Oh. Oh. So his mother is Anya. Got it. She said nothing in response. Her eyes were locked on my satchel, now 1 meal short. I'll be fine. They probably skipped a lot more meals than I have. In case you've forgotten, they were trying to scam us. If they really wanted to hurt anyone, they'd throw away their fake armor and just use the sword. We should be helping our fellow commoners, right? Isn't that why we practice law? Just don't expect me to share my lunch with you. Ruby, I couldn't bear the thought of you going hungry. I spent a good 15 minutes haggling for those sandwiches. Do we even need to haggle? It's a matter of principle. You give anyone an inch and they'll take a mile. Ruby, a true mom. We arrived at Cornhaven, but I smelled the stench before I even spotted the village. The smell of rotting meat and excrement hung in the air. I had to fight the urge to retch. But I did my best to swallow my disgust. I've been begging Miss Tamora to take me on her outing for years. I couldn't show weakness now. You're telling me this is the kingdom of magic, and they couldn't produce anything that lets you smell roses instead of crap? Okay, sure, whatever. Are you okay? For you, Ruby? Always. I'm fine. I was just surprised. Did you expect the ruling lord to install modern plumbing in a village like this? You guys have plumbing? Well, damn. Guess I never really thought about it. You'll get used to it once you've traveled more. This is just how things are in the outer regions. It really made me appreciate the clean and sanitary streets of the capital. Complete opposite of New York. There, the streets and homes were loaded with artificery. What does that mean? This game needs to come with a dictionary. It has a lot of big words. We had clean and running water. We had lights that didn't rely on oil and flame. It was as if this village existed in a different time period. I reprimanded myself. I wasn't above this. People here were commoners, just like me. They only lived like this out of a lack of care from the kingdom. Take a left here and the tavern should be at the edge of town. If the reports are right, this should be the place. This is really a meeting place for dissidents against the crown. Flintheart had done an amazing job of disguising their headquarters as a rundown shack. Rundown? Where? Where's the rundown? Everything looks well maintained and pristine. The tavern's been shut down for a few years. Nowadays, Flintheart McCoy just uses it to host his rallies. I don't know how to do a men's voice, so we're just going with it. Hey, you lot, the McCoy Tavern is closed. I should try a Scottish accent, but I feel like I would offend a lot of people, so I'm not going to do it. The dissident leader stormed towards our carriage as we parked. He had a roughness to him that matched the state of his tavern. He was practically growling at us with every word. He got close to Miss Tamora's face, his feet firmly planted on the ground. She was unflinching, of course, standing her ground as he leered at the two of us. I take it you're Flintheart McCoy? What's it to you? Wow, rude. If we see people aura farming, I have to let the aura farming organization know. It's better to die farming aura than to live while never having aura! Well, Mr. McCoy here sure have aura. I also think he's going to die. I think he's the victim in the case. So I don't speak this pish-posh English. I speak the freedom, bald eagle, screechy, burger-eating, YEEHAW, proper American English. Oh, I can't do a southern accent either. Sorry to disappoint you. Sorry to disappoint you. Although people have told me I sound like I'm from the South, which is, I feel like is an insult to the people who are from the South. I ain't got the Southern twang. Blinhard McCoy, occupation unemployed, age 52. Love the mustache, sir. Very legal. Leader of a revolutionary faction in Cornhaven and an owner of the McCoy Tavern. He seems to have an extreme grudge against mages and the nobility, but that sentiment tends to be common nowadays. I see. Sorry for not writing ahead of time, but my messages weren't getting through. I'm Ruby Tamora. I've been trying to get in touch with you, Flintheart. He's a professional aura farmer. Stash. Mustache. What? His eyes narrowed for a bit before widening in recognition of the name. Wait, Ruby Tamora? Ooh, is Ruby famous? She should be. She's gorgeous. Why didn't you say so? Come on in. Thanks, McCoy. His tone flipped to jovial in an instant. Now it was as if he were greeting an old friend. I was surprised people out here even knew who she was. I have thought her infamy had only spread in the city. Infamy? I guess he acknowledged her as an ally. They both had a common enemy after all. Excuse the mess, we haven't exactly seen a lot of guests. It's fine. Oh, she's so pretty. Why can I be her? My mentor looked around warily as she brushed aside a spider web hanging in front of her. Excuse me, the spider is a friend. So what brings you here? I doubt someone like you has anything to see out here. One of my clients have been trying to talk to you. We have a proposition that you'll be interested in. I raised my eyebrow at her. This was the first time I heard of this client. Quote unquote. Is there anywhere where we could talk in private? Got a bunch of empty rooms upstairs. Perfect. Cuthbert, stay here for a moment. Oh. You're not gonna let me on the tea, but I love tea. Don't you need my help? There's no need for that. How is there no need? The Eye of Horus could extract anything she needed from him. Ruby's having none of that mind-reading nonsense. That glare overrode my objection before I could get it out. Got my eyes on McCoy just in case he gets too close to Ruby. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure he's the victim in our case. Without another word, they went upstairs. They went up the stairs. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself. I drowned my hands on the dusty table looking around the tavern. It definitely had a lot of personality if one counted dust and insects as character traits. You know, Tyrion's a lot more spicier than I thought he would be. Faint murmurs echoed from the ceiling, slightly stressed. It sounded like their conversation was becoming more frustrated. I brought out a small chessboard from my satchel. Even after a decade, it had served me well. Chess could be played with one person, something that I always taken advantage of. Wait, you can? What's the fun? Wait, what? I didn't know you could play chess with one person. Alright, you learn something new every day, I guess. I had a match with the Duke of Commerce scheduled in a few months. I wasn't too worried about him, but I might as well take this opportunity. Wow, you checkmated yourself, Tyrion. I'm so proud of you. But you know what? You know what they say? You know what they say? Your worst enemy is yourself. I lost again while playing as wife. That was 3 times now. Oh, hello! Who are you? You're cute. How's it going? No, you're not really my type. Ruby's more my jam. But you know, you're cute. What's up? Statistically, white was more likely to win. So why was I performing better as black? Tyrion, there's a pretty lady in front of you. You know, it's rude to ignore a lady. She's so cute. Was I becoming overconfident as white because it had an advantage? Oh, white plays first, huh? Hello? That very advantage could be affecting my choices and making me play suboptimally. If a personal quirk was making me play like this, then I need to identify and correct it. Hey! I nearly toppled out of my seat when she tapped me on the shoulder. She stepped back and flashed me a soft grin. Her body swayed playfully, amused by how flustered I was. Her posture was unguarded. It was as if she never felt threatened in her life. She was holding a large exotic sword in her right hand, but I barely even noticed it. Where's the sword? I ain't seen the sword! As a warm and bright aura washed over me, it pulled away any tension and unease I might have felt. Oh, I'm guessing she's the defendant. Sorry, I was distracted. You know the McCoy Tavern is closed, right? If you're okay with keeping things up the books, I can prepare a room for you. No, that's fine. I'm just waiting for my mentor to finish speaking with Flynhart. Oh, someone's talking to my dad?! I'm not, what? You look nothing like your father. No offense, but you look nothing like your father. Are you adopted? She's probably adopted. Your dad? I'm Flynhart's daughter, Celeste. So not adopted? Hello, Celeste. Now, I've only met one other Celeste in a video game. And, she was a professional liar and she killed someone. Celeste McCoy, occupation mercenary. Age 19? The only daughter of Flynhart McCoy. She's cheerful and sweet and also a little intimidating. Wait, if she's the daughter, that means McCoy, you dog! She's very pretty. I'm Tyrion. Nice to meet you. Am I saying his name right? Is it Tyrion? Was it Tyrion? Tyrion? Oh no, man. English is hard. Do you know when they'll be done? I wanted to show him something. The mumbling upstairs was becoming more frustrated. Celeste tilted her head as she looked at the ceiling, but she soon got distracted by my chessboard. Wait, this game is chess, isn't it? No, it's checkers. Are you playing against someone? My demons. I was playing by myself, actually. Oh. Playing alone helps me hone my strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. Hey, don't worry about it. I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. Well, damn, girl! Could not tell by her appearance she's this spicy. She just chuckled as she drank in my reaction. I looked away from her before clearing my throat. Have you ever played it before? I read about it in some books a while ago. This room is always so dusty. Inviting herself, she sat down in the chair opposite me. She brushed off some dust from the table with her sleeve and began setting up her side of the board. Where does the horse go again? The knight? Oh, her arcane art is transmutation. Isn't that the subject that Professor McGonagall taught? Or was it transfiguration? I don't remember! I didn't go to magical schools. Checkmate! It only took 2 moves. She's fallen into a classic trap. Damn! Tyrion is like, you may be a novice, but I'm gonna go all out. I felt a little guilty, but my mentor always said that failure was the best teacher. Wait, what already? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. How did you do that? Magic! I decided against telling her the name of that maid. She grumbled under her breath as we both moved our pieces back into place. So what kind of business does your mentor have with my dad? I'm honestly not sure. She doesn't really tell me much. I think it has something to do with his dissidence against the crown. Alright. Bit of a sore subject, I see. I didn't get into Hogwarts, neither did I. Though probably for the better. Wouldn't have survived all those moving staircases and things like that. Sorry, should I not be saying that out loud? It's fine. She stroked her chin as her hand moved and hesitated over each of her pieces. She hadn't realized that she'd been led into another trap. But she's having a good time. She moved her knight into position to attack my queen. She'd blocked my initial assault on her cane butt. Anyway, checkmate. A scholar's mate this time. I don't know what that means! I don't play chess! What? How do you keep doing that? Magic! The more you play, the more you'll be able to recognize specific boards. You'll get the hang of it in time. She just glared at the board. I glanced at the ceiling. Miss Tamora and Flintheart's argument was only getting worse. It didn't sound like they would be done anytime soon. Figured out what the problem is. What is it? Is it that you keep mobilizing your pieces without intention? It's food, Tyrion! I need food! She stood up and stomped towards the kitchen, but not before spinning around back to me. We're not done! Don't you dare leave! Okay. I'll stay right here where you left me. A few minutes later, she returned carrying a gigantic slab of cooked meat on a small plate. You know what, guys? Wife material right here. She doesn't make you a sandwich. She doesn't make you pasta. She doesn't make you a salad. She brings you an entire slab of cooked meat. If that ain't a wife right there, I don't know what is. I stared at it for a while, wondering if she was planning to eat all of that in one sitting. If she does, marry her. She began setting up her side of the board with one hand while holding a fork and knife in the other. She was somehow twirling both utensils in her right hand to switch between them. She delicately carved a small bit of meat with the knife before spinning to a fork to bring it to her mouth. Guys. Right here. This is how I want my future wife to be. She tilted her head at me and swallowed the bite whole. Hey, it's your move. I think Tyrion just lost all of his brain cells watching you eat. For someone who had never played before, she was quickly improving with each game. It took me a while before I even noticed, but she was adapting to my strategies and trying to use them against me. She caught me unaware a few times. At the rate she was learning, she could easily surpass a nationally ranked noble with enough practice. Anyway, we won again. But I've been playing this game far longer than she had, and I was ranked far above the average noble. She just narrowed her eyes at me. How are you always one step ahead of me? Magic! It's like you're reading my mind. Magic! I could, but I never allowed myself to do when playing. I'll get you this time. You know, isn't it a little cheating? For, Tyrion to be able to read people's mind, being a lawyer and stuff, whatever. Go with what you're good at, right? That ain't a wife? That's a certified monster hunter! So, wife. She began placing the piece back in place when my stomach growled loudly. Celeste blinked at me, startled for a moment, then she giggled. Excuse me, would you bring me some meat? Have you eaten anything? No. Oh. She looked around for a moment before her eyes went to her slab of mystery meat. Do you want some of this? We have a lot. And sharing her meat with you. Waifu, right here. I couldn't possibly. My stomach reprimanded me with another loud rumble. Against my protest, she spun the knife in her hand and carved a bite of meat. She started to playfully wave the fork in front of my face expectantly. Do you have another fork? Come on, don't be like that. Ooh, wife! Waifu right here! If you're a base mommy, Celeste is wifey. I wanted to object, but I was too hungry to argue. I just bit down the fork. That was when I felt quite the jarring texture. The meat was tough and fibrous. I had to consciously chew through the leathery sinew lest I choke on it. I never tasted such a distinct greasy tang before. I realized I never actually asked her where the meat came from. If you don't know, don't ask. How is she eating this so quickly? She doesn't live in the capital. How is it? It's certainly unique. Yeah, bear meat is kind of weird like that. Bear meat? Y'all, she fought a bear and won. Put a ring on it, Tyrion! Hurry! She fought a bear and won. As I questioned every decision that had led me to this point, Miss Tamara and Flintheart came down from upstairs. My mentor's face was stark as always, but some frustration bled through. That was never a good sign. Hi, Dad! Oh, hello, sweetie. Oh, he calls her sweetie! Flintheart's expression lit up as his daughter rushed over to him. My mentor glanced at the chessboard on the table. She never really took an interest in chess, but she knew that I'd be undefeated since I was 10 years old. Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. What? You never told me that. Can't believe you'd exploit a newbie. That's what I was saying. Only. Is that what your suit is for? Are you some kind of traveling chess player? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm a defense attorney. I didn't even know we had attorneys in Wyvern Guard. News to me also. They were definitely a dying breed. A competent ones anyways. Speaking of, we should probably get going. I hate to refuse you after you came all this way. I respect what you're doing, but I won't work with these mages of yours. Oh, Celeste is both sad and anxious about mages. Mr. Moore had mentioned that before. Was this mystery client a mage? Anyways, it's getting late. If you leave now, you probably won't get to the city until morning. Aye, she's right. These parts are crawling with brigands and combat. Oh, we met a few. You wouldn't want to run into one of them after nightfall. Guess you have a point. The tavern has plenty of empty rooms. Why didn't you stay here till morning? It's the least I can do after you came all this way. But I'm not exactly in a rush to get back on that carriage. Sweetie, can you help me with that? He paused, his eyes focusing on a giant slab of meat on the table. Did you kill another bear? She did kill a bear! Damn. Put a ring on it, Tyrion. We barely got through the last one. What are we supposed to do with all this greasy meat? Eat it. That's what it's for. Wow. Wow. Damn, Tyrion. If you don't marry her, I will. How are you even killing these things? Magic! It's not that hard. You just have to keep up with the... For Lord's sakes, you're bloody insane. Why did the Scale Lord curse me with a rabbit wolf instead of a dot? Excuse me? This rabbit wolf is keeping your family fed. Do you know how many commoners in Wyvern Guard are starving? Don't talk to me like I'm the child. The two continued their bickering as they went up the staircase. As an empath, I feel like you are hungry. I am hungry, actually. I'm always, like, starving after a stream. Even though, like, I eat beforehand. I don't know why. Maybe I just talk too much. How do you expect to find a good husband when you're out in the woods wrestling bears? Oh, Flintheart, you have no idea. She's a waifu, that one. Excuse me, men are lining up to court me. I'm a goddess and she knows her worth! And she knows her worth. The goddess of war, more like. You're always coming home covered in blood and dirt. Oh, she's a real one. Flintheart, just so you know. Ares and Artemis both have it. And Athena all had suitors, okay? Don't be like that. Ruby and I are not talking to each other. So, your talk with Flintheart didn't go well? Why can't he understand that all of this is bigger than him and his vendetta? I still have one last thing we could use. Cuthbert. So let's get back downstairs, pausing upon seeing the air between my mentor and me. Hi! We're done with your rooms. You can head upstairs if you want to rest up. Alright, thank you, Celeste. Oh my! It's a whole castle! Silence followed us up the stairs until we arrived at our rooms. Miss Tamara's hand gripped the handle of the door, but she never turned it. I'm sorry, I didn't expect our discussion to go for that long. It's fine, I understand. I saw you playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was everything okay? What do you mean? You're kind of a sore winner when you play. Only when my opponent's a noble. She caught on quickly. She was ridiculously good for a beginner. Playing against her was nice. I suppose you are at that age. Ooh, Ruby knows! That's not what I meant, you sure? Because we should be. Never really get to play against other players outside of the tournaments. And you only ever want to play Shogi against me. Don't know how to play that either. Because Shogi's clearly superior. Whatever you say, Ruby, I agree. It's complete anarchy is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. Excuse me? Tyrion, what's wrong with being a necromancer, huh? Huh? Excuse you? Perfectly respectable career, okay? I help a lot of people. How dare you? How dare you? I'm offended. Take back everything nice I said about you. The cute and strong tomboy or mature, seductive older woman. Decisions. Well, you know, I don't know if Ruby's gonna be alive for much longer. Not gonna lie. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimensional play that isn't present in chess. We both glared at each other silently, but all the tension from before had left. After a few moments, we just burst out laughing. Aww. You really have grown up, haven't you? You must have been only 10 when you suddenly showed up at my house. It was a long time ago. Stay silent for a moment. I know that you're just trying to help, then why won't you let me? Cuthbert, it's not the right time. I'm ready for this, Miss Tamora. You are. I know you are. That just made me raise an eyebrow at her. Then what's the issue here? Guess she just stayed silent. Get some rest. You need to prepare for the journey tomorrow. I winced at that thought. I've completely forgotten that I have to wrangle those horses again. His name is Peanut Butter! Officer Peanut Butter. I opened the door and fell onto the bed inside. You didn't even shower? In your outside clothes? What a savage. It wasn't long before night fell. Between driving that carriage and dealing with those con artists, I was exhausted. I fell asleep, but I felt uneasiness creep into me as the night went on. I felt myself being pulled away, brought elsewhere. In every direction I looked, there was nothing, only the glass-like floor I was standing on. I saw my reflection in the floor. With each step I took, it rippled and shimmered. I knew that I was dreaming, but something deep inside me insisted that there was something real about this. I don't know what voices I'm supposed to make here. Whispers echoed through the realm. I spotted the small dark silhouette of a person in the distance. Callie, is that you? She was silently staring at me and murmuring something under her breath. Finally found. She repeated the same phrase almost like a chant. She looked practically giddy in anticipation of something. Oh my god! Holy crap, that scared me! Wait, what did she say? I finally found you, Heavensborn. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Gave you a heart attack. I'm easily scared. You can't do this to me, Gabe. I'm only a baby. I woke up to the sound of shouting from downstairs. I clutched at my chest. My heart was racing. I was drenched in sweat. I mean, I would be too. That was just a nightmare. I tried to convince myself of that. I shook my head. Something else was happening downstairs. Those voices sounded like Celeste and Flinthearts, and they were only getting louder. Please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. They definitely weren't bickering about the bear meat this time. I want you out of my house. Get out. After that, there was only silence, followed by someone storming out of the tavern. Yeah, Bruno, that was real scary. I was not expecting that. The front door of the tavern slammed shut, the entire structure swaying from the force. I lay there silent. What could they be arguing about this late at night? It really wasn't any of my business. Everything's out your business. Okay. The door creaked loudly as I eased it open and stepped out of my room. The hallway was completely dark. Not a single candle was lit. Looked like the young did it to me? Maybe. I guess we'll find out. I stepped forward slowly, careful not to trip over anything. Flintheart was trudging up the stairs when I bumped into him. I couldn't see his face, but judging from how he sounded earlier, I probably didn't want to. Sorry? Right, I forgot you two were. His voice trailed off. Is everything okay? Sorry, I'm just going to... I slipped past Flintheart as I went down the stairs. He barely even noticed. I made my way to the dining room. There weren't any lights in the streets. It was nearly pitch black. Hello? No answer. I looked at the entrance to the tavern. The door was hanging open. The wooden frame was cracked. I walked through the village streets, but there weren't any lights on. I regretted not taking a lantern on my way out. I heard a squelch as I accidentally stepped on something that was disgustingly soft. I tried my best to ignore it. Celeste? Where are you? Celeste! A groan echoed from one of the nearby shacks. A lantern flickered to life from behind the wooden door. An older man stepped out, squinting against the darkness of the night. You got any idea what time it is? No, sir. He eyed me up and down, taking notice of how I was dressed. This ain't the city, boy. We're like a peace and quiet after sundown. Sorry, sir. I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy. She's Flintheart's daughter. Something in his expression shifted. Irritation turned into complete contempt. Do you know her? What do you want with that bastard, that damned mage? Huh? What? Those two probably woke up half the town with their yelling. Look, I just want to make sure that she's safe. Got nothing to worry about there. I mean, she did kill a bear. Before I could get another word in, he went back into his house in a huff, slamming the door behind him. I just took a breath and continued searching. Oh, who are you? You're very pretty. Garrick Pierce. Occupation nobleman, age 30. 38? Wow. Arcane art transmutation. Oh, is he gonna be the murderer? But he's so pretty. I don't want him to be the murderer. Game! Can't make the pretty one the murderer. That's just wrong. Look how pretty he is. Still have the famous temper, I see. Honestly, I never understood how you could stand living in this gloomy shack. Looks so... that's probably a spell. How dare you use that witchcraft in my home? From what I've seen, I'm not the first. You've really been stirring the pot. Four pillars don't care for what they've been hearing from your rallies. Is that right? I'll be sure to bring that up the next meeting. For Lord's sakes, have some sense, Flintheart. At this rate, you're going to bring Lucio Steelwind down on all of us. Who's Lucio? Wait, isn't the prosecutor in the beginning his name Arya Steelwind? You may not value your life, but I will not become another one of his casualties. So you came all this way to convince me to stop? End this foolishness now, and no harm will come to your family. You have my word. Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off the king's boots. You're a killer, as if I'd ever trust you. Flintheart, please, as someone who once thought of you as a friend, I'm only going to ask you once. Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Aww. Get out of my house, I don't have time for you. I don't think you have much time for anything. This game is so mean to me. I don't like it. I gotta go, but have fun for the rest of your stream and looking to setting up your Twitch account for subscribers and all. I'll be happy to support your channel. Thanks, Katie Cat. Have a great night/day. Hope it goes well. I'll be here, lamenting the fact the pretty one is the murderer. He's so pretty. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. What if I just get a bad end? You stubborn fool, why couldn't you just have listened to me? Rudolph. Yes, sir. By the scale lure, what did you do? You killed him? Alert the Inquisition, tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure the neighbors heard them yelling at each other. Understood, sir. No! Why is it the pretty one? I'm so sad. Guys! I'm upset! I don't want to play this game anymore! JK, I will. But why is the pretty one the murderer? I'm so upset. This has never happened to me before. Hello, Celeste! What am I going to do? Hi, Celeste! A few hours had already passed, but I finally found her sitting under an old oak tree. She looked just as tired as I was, probably even more so. Her eyes were wet and red, but she quickly wiped them with her sleeve as she stood up to meet me. I've been looking for you. Did we wake you up? I just wanted to make sure you were okay. It's nothing. We argue like that all the time. I'm fine, see? She tried to squeeze her lips into a smile, but didn't reach her eyes. If she really had back, it's not safe to be out here this late. What about you? I can take care of myself. I just stood there silently for a moment. I'm sure he just lost his temper. You don't know that. Sorry. She just looked down and said nothing before exhaling. Maybe you're right. It wouldn't feel right to let you walk back alone anyway. She walked past me, leading me back to the tavern. We returned, but found the tavern surrounded by knights clad in plate armor. Several carriages were parked outside, and I could see several lights lit within the tavern. Is that the Arcane Inquisition? I don't know what that means. Inquisition? An order of knights who investigate crimes committed using magic. Hello, Mr. 2! Welcome in! Welcome into Airy Depresso Hour, because the hot guy that I like is a murderer. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. But I can't, like, wifey go to jail! But, like, he's so pretty. He's so pretty. Celeste and I shared a glance without another word. Both of us ran towards the tavern, but she quickly outpaced me. She reached the tavern door and the color drained from her face. Her hand went to her mouth and she stumbled backwards, her body shuddering. Oh, she finds the body of her dad. Her voice quivered, tears began to stream down her face. Orem White! Hello, Mr. White. There you are. As Celeste stood there frozen, a knight stepped between her and the tavern entrance. Celeste McCoy, by the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. The knight tried to grab her arm, and it was like something flipped inside of her. She slammed her paw into the knight's chest. His plate armor reverberated as he was launched several feet backwards. 3 other knights rushed forward. They tried to grab her and pin her to the ground. She let out a guttural scream against them, almost sounding like a feral animal. It looked like it was taking all of their strength just to keep her pinned down. It was like she was a completely different person. I stood there stunned before shaking myself out of it. What are you doing to her? Let her go. Hi, Ruby! Thank the Scale Lord, Miss Tamora was saved. I knew I recognized him from somewhere. Stay out of our way or we'll lock you 2 up right next to her. He left in the hub, followed after the other knights as they slowly dragged Celeste away. Miss Tamora, what's going on? Why is the Arcane Inquisition here? I'm not sure, but Flintheart is dead. What? Why are you depressed? That makes him hotter, but I don't want to convict him! I don't want to put him in jail! He's so pretty. He doesn't belong in jail. It's only hot if he gets away with it, but I have to save waifu. Yes, I would like to save my progress. Celeste was going to be detained in Rothholm. Rothholm. I don't know. I don't English. Wyvern God's capital city. She was apparently the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder. Her case would be pushed to trial within the day. Supposedly, they discovered traces of magic at the crime scene. That honestly just raised even more questions. Miss Tamora and I were determined to get to the bottom of this. The Inquisition, on the other hand, did what they always did. This is ridiculous. She has the right to speak to an attorney. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Orem White, occupation knight, age 64. The grumpy and apathetic leader of the Arcane Inquisition. He's had a personal grudge against Miss Tamora for as long as I can remember. Orm White was the commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Miss Tabor has supposedly run into him many times. He always looked like the textbook definition of someone who was too old for this. Alright. I'm depresso! My hot man. I have to put him in jail. I don't want to. I didn't usually accompany Mr. Tamora to her crime scenes, but the few times I had, he was always there to run interference. He always looked like he cared more about making trouble for us than actually doing his job. Inquisition was deeply in the nobility's pockets. I'd always assumed that they were paying him to sabotage us. Don't give me that. There's no way you haven't processed her with the trial this close. Yeah, well, at least you can prove it. I don't need to do anything. What's with all of this noise? It's the girl that looks like that one from Fire Emblem! The commander's back straightened now, his smirk turned into a wince as the girl walked into the chambers. Whoever she was, she must have been younger than me. Despite that, her voice carried the weight of her authority, something which Orm clearly relented to. But Aura was as cold and rigid as stone, his disposition was probably equally so. Celeste McCoy has a right to counsel. I know who you are, Ruby Timor. She turned to Orm. She was almost half his side, but he was practically flinching at her every word. The girl hasn't been processed yet. She just let out irritated sign as she waved him away. Let them through. Let them through before I throw into the cell next to hers. Oh, another waifu. Yes, lady, or I mean Miss Steelwind. Steelwind? Arya Steelwind, occupation prosecutor, age 18. A prosecutor from the nobility who hails from House Steelwind, one of the four pillar families in Wyvengard. She's the daughter of Grand General Lucio Steelwind, leader of Wyvengard's military. It's hard to read her motivation even with the Eye of Horus. Is she the Edward to our Phoenix? She gave me a passing glance as she was silently appraising me. She walked out of the dungeon without another word. Orm grumbled under his breath as he led us to Celeste's cell. I had to wade through a thickening fog of emotions as we descended further into the dungeons. The collective anger and sorrow of the prisoners were choking on me. I'd always hated crowds. I could never shut out the storm of thoughts and emotions that came with them. But I tried my best to keep it together. Celeste was going through a lot more than I was. Hello, Celeste. Damn, prosecutor at 18? Not good enough. Francesca was a prosecutor at 16. Or something, I don't know. She was young, that's all I remember. She may be a Steelwind, but she's not a Von Karma. Hello, Celeste! Celeste was curled up on the cold floor, arms wrapped around her knees. When she saw us, she scrambled to her feet. What are you doing here? We know about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry, Celeste. Still can't believe it. She's angry, sad, and anxious at the same time. Is this scared or anxious? I can't tell. Maybe both. Her response came out hollowly. You're the Inquisition's prime suspect in the murder and then planning to push your case to trial. You'll be brought to court in a few hours. What? No one told me anything. My mentor scoffed in disgust. She was all too familiar with this. They were planning to convict you before you even realize you're on trial. Celeste, Miss Tabor is the best defense attorney in Wyvengard. She can help you. You've been supporting your family from your work as a mercenary, is that correct? Did she just say mercenary? Yes. Celeste is a mercenary by trade. It's a little unexpected, but who am I to judge? From your financial history, it appears that you can afford my services. How would she even know that? That's not important. What matters is that if I'm representing you, your case is as good as won. You don't even know what happened. Then tell me. Celeste hesitated, her shoulder tensing in the memory. I got into an argument with my dad and I left to clear my head. Tyrion found me a bit after that. I think it was a few hours after I left. When we came back, we saw the knights outside. That's when they arrested me. Celeste, if I'm going to be your attorney, I need to know everything that happened. They found your sword inside his body, and there were traces of transmutation magic around the crime scene. There aren't any other registered mages in Cornhaven. I need you to tell me the truth. I just told you everything that happened. She looked down confused before her face tightened into a scowl. You actually think I did it, don't you? You think I was the one who killed him? Wait, Miss Tamora, before I left the tavern to look for her, I ran into Flintheart. He was still alive. And how much time between that and when you found her? It was probably about 2 hours. Which means there are 2 hours where she wasn't accounted for. You know, he's not wrong. This is an argument the prosecution is going to make, Tyrion. You just have to go with it. We can work around that, but the prosecution will still... I didn't do this. She's telling the truth, Mr. Mora. Celeste would never do something like this. Cuthbert, you can't just believe every innocent girl who bats her eye at you! This is not what this is. Well, did you see that she's innocent? Can you tell me that with certainty? Celeste was being defensive at the moment, too guarded for me to read anything substantial with the eye of Horus. I didn't see it, but I know that she's innocent. Look, either way, we need to construct a proper alibi. How can I come work with you if you don't even believe me? Do you even understand the situation you're in? I know exactly what's happening. My dad's dead and whoever killed him is still out there. Don't be naive, you're a commoner. You're lucky I'm even here. There isn't a single attorney other than me who will defend someone like you. What about him? What about Tyrion? I blinked confused for a moment before I realized that she was pointing at me. You're also a defense attorney, right? I am, but he's just a kid, McCoy. He's never even defended a case before. I don't care. At least he doesn't think I'm a murderer. Celeste, hold on. So you can take your attitude and leave. I don't need your help. Fine, have it your way. But we were staring down the gallows and begging me to appear a conviction. I'll be charging you triple my rate. Before I could understand what was going on, Miss Tamara turned away and stormed out. As she reached the door, she looked back at me expectantly. I froze. I knew I wasn't in any position to handle a case like this. That said, I also knew I couldn't leave her to face this alone. My mentor let out a quiet sign before quietly exiting the dungeons. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you in the middle of that. I can go talk to her. I'm sure she'll come back and take your case. No, I meant what I said. I don't want her help. Celeste, this is serious. Your conviction might as well be a foregone conclusion to the courts without Miss Tamora. It'll be fine. I know I just pulled you into this without asking. If you want to walk away, understand. I'll figure something out. We're being gaslit! We're being gaslit! She tugged a few times at the cell door separating us. I could have sworn I saw the metal bars bending. I exhaled slowly. I knew I wasn't ready for this. She's manipulative! I might have to take back the what I said about her being waifu. I can't stand by and do nothing. Oh, man. And you call yourself a master chess player? Tyrion, she's got you wrapped around her little fingers! I'll take your case if you'll have me. There's one thing I need you to tell me. The Arcane Inquisition was called to the scene. I had no idea how they even knew magic had been used, but their presence could only mean one thing. Are you a mage? You know, this is also very legally blonde. Yeah, I am. When that villager confronted me before, he called her a bastard. It made a lot more sense now. Do you have a noble blood? What does that have to do with anything? The ability to use magic is hereditary. Almost every mage descends from the nobility in some way. If you have birth parents in the nobility, we might be able to use the influence to our advantage. Gosh, she's evil? I'm sold? Nah, she's not. She's not. They were just doing a legally blonde moment with this part. Who knows? Maybe Tara's right where he wants to be. I mean, you know. Don't know how many chess games he'll be winning with that attitude. I don't need anyone else's help. I'm a McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It seems best not to push that matter further then. Even so, that's probably why they arrested you. Miss Tamora mentioned it earlier. A town of farmers like Corehaven wouldn't have any other registered mages. It's a good thing you registered with the kingdom. It would have just added one extra charge if you had it. We don't know his type or preferences yet! I mean, we'll find out. They found traces of magic at the scene of the crime. They have no choice but to suspect you. Are you serious? No, it's called evidence, ma'am. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much help I'll really be. Miss Tamora said it herself, I've never defended a client before. Is everything really going to be okay? I don't know, you're the one that said everything will be okay. I tried to tell you otherwise. Why would I say something like that? Defense attorneys should be putting their clients at ease. But no matter what, I'll get you an acquittal. You can try! Never promise an outcome you can't keep! But it doesn't matter who stands in my way, man, king, or god. Sorry, I used to say that a lot as a kid. No, it's okay. At least it made her laugh. Anyways, take some time to rest up. The trial would begin in a few hours. I couldn't imagine what she was going through. She not only lost her father, but she was also being framed for his murder. This is exactly why I became an attorney, to defend people exactly like her. Stories like hers were far too common, but this time I had the power to change it. She's putting her trust in me. I would make sure she wouldn't regret that. Good thing you have the power of the MC vested in you, or this girl was totally going to, you know, be hung. Not looking so confident now, Tyrion, whatever your name is. I don't know how to say even though you're the MC. It still hadn't sunk in yet. I was standing in a real courtroom. I'd only ever acted as Miss Tamura's assistant. Now I was in front and center at the defense table. Are you okay? I don't know. Is he? Yes, of course. Maybe I kept saying that, it would end up being true. Arya's chillin'. That woman from the dungeon was also here. She must have been the prosecutor for Celeste's trial. No wonder she was able to order around the commander like that. It's so funny. In America, a prosecutor low-key gets bossed around by the police. And in these games, it's always the other way around. I could feel her piercing glare burrowing into me. Why was she looking at me like that? Was she trying to intimidate me? Because it was definitely working! Hope you're proud of yourself, Tyrion, for getting yourself into this situation. The judge is here! He's less boldy than other judges I've encountered in the past. Occupation judge, age 80. He doesn't have a name? That's a little rude, don't you guys think? Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Very well, Prosecutor Steelwind, could you please list the charges? The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary by trade and a registered maid. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. Second-degree murder? Well, we're going with, like, manslaughter? The crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that was shut down years ago. Those who lived nearby reported hearing a loud argument coming from within the building around 1 a.m. His name is Judge Honor. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. At 1:08 a.m., a carriage driver entered the tavern to investigate the disturbance. It was there that he found the victim, the defendant's sword impaled within his body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and documentation for the sword. Died at 1:12 a.m. after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wound shows heavy trace of transmutation magic. There's like no DNA in the magic. Can't do that. It's a little beyond us. Okay. Apparently, forensic magic is not that advanced in the kingdom of Wyvengard. Because, you know, in Harry Potter, they can trace what wand it came from, but apparently you can't do that here. The alleged murder weapon. It's ornately designed sword, but has no magical properties. This is Celeste's sword. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. Oh. And mine. What an unfortunate turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orrin White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name and occupation. Name's Orrin White. I'm the commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Commander, please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation. Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So help me, whatever God you practice? Alright, we have witness testimony. My throat hurts from yelling so much. We got a call late at night. Someone found a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still in his chest. But the bunch of witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was called in. That argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the old man using her magic sword. Her sword isn't magic, though. Oh my! This is going to be difficult. The defensive sword was the murder weapon. Usually I'm really excited when I go to court and I'm like ready to like fight and like, you know, rip them apart, but like guy's so hot. I'm so sad. I don't want to. This game is so evil. Like, does the game not know you're supposed to make the first murder like not hot? To, you know, entice the player to solve the crime. Because I literally looking at that really hot guy, I would let him get away with anything, murder included. It was possible that the murderer used it to frame her. They must have meant that the crime was premeditated. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, do you know what that is? You've never played Ace Attorney before? Where was I supposed to start again? I need to prove that Celeste was innocent, but they found her sword in the body. Yeah, this is the part where you say something, right? The longer I stood there, the more I noticed everyone staring at me. I could feel a case cracking. Each moment of silence just another blow to my credibility. I wanted to face Ruby tomorrow, today not her bumbling sidekick. This is going so well, guys. Your Honor, the defense clearly has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. Yep, this whole thing's pretty open and shut. Excuse me! Wait! Objection! I'm so sorry, Tyrion. I didn't do enough for Frey. Who's Frey? Oh, Frey's my mom. Probably. Does this mean they're going to execute her? Was I seriously going to watch that happen again? I guess our mother's name is Frey. Her palm cracked across my face. I stumbled back and almost fell over. She had every right to be angry, but that wasn't what I saw on her face. Just listen to me. You trained for this, right? You know what to do. I've never done this before. She cursed under her breath. She searched her mind for an answer. And just treat it like something you have done before. I don't know. You're good at chess, right? So just treat this whole thing like you're playing chess. What? I don't know. Yesterday you were calm and we were focused. So just channel that feeling. Look at the pieces on the board or something like that. Okay, is there a reason why I can never play as an experienced attorney? Why do I always gotta be like newbie and don't know what's going on? Like, it was so nice playing as Edgeworth because he knew what was up. Why is it that when you're a defense attorney, you always have to be like some kind of bumbling idiot? Why? Wish the game will let me be Ruby. Ruby's at least hot. Made a lot of statements. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth, they were all just pieces on the board. A match wasn't won for the first move. It came from developing the pieces I had and taking every advantage that presented itself. Like, why can't it be a veteran defense attorney? I apologize, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin the cross-examination. Seeing as this is your first trial, Mr. Cuthbert, I'll overlook it this one time. Easy justification for tutorials and self-insert. Wow, I just got insulted by the game. I just got insulted by the game. There we go. I need to carefully examine every statement he made line by line. The key to every cross-examination was identify which statement contradicts the evidence in my notes. Once I did that, I need to present the contradicting evidence. Alright, cool. But I'm just saying, he's really hot. He should get away from murder. You started cross-examining a witness. The key to each cross-examination is to determine which part of the witness testimony contradicts any of the items in your note. Use the left-right arrow to carefully examine each statement in the witness's testimony. Identify the contradiction statement and present the items that contradicts it. Got a call late at night. Someone found a dead body inside the McCoy Tower. I'm impressed because I don't know. What time did you get this call and who discovered the body? The call came in at 1:08 a.m. and the witness wanted to remain incognito. You mean anonymous? It wasn't unusual for a witness to request anonymity. It was well within their rights, but it would have been a lot easier if I could cross-examine that witness directly. Alright, let's keep going. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still in his chest. Press! Are you sure that the sword was my client's? Her sword is made out of some weird alloy. I think it was forged out of the country or something. It'd be hard to mistake something like that. We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from public. Quite the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off. Even so, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, well. Alright, let's press. We have a bunch of witnesses who heard the victim and defendant allow argument before the body was called in. I mean, I fight with people all the time. I don't kill all of them. How did they know it's my client who was arguing with the victim? You were there, weren't you? Don't tell me you didn't hear them. Eyewitnesses we talked to knew it was them. I couldn't really argue with him. Celeste and Flynn had very distinct voices, especially when they were raised. Huh? Not in this game, because they're all voiced by me. Is that witness in the room with us? I'm almost betting it is not real. Oh, you weren't here for the beginning, Mr. Two. There is a witness. It was the butler of the hot guy who killed the guy. But for now, he is anonymous. But it's the game kind of spoiled itself by showing us the witness in the beginning. Okay, let's press. The argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the old man using her magic sword. This is probably what the contradiction is, but you know. I was there when the argument took place, but was still alive when my client left the tavern. Perhaps, but how do you know she didn't return to murder her father afterwards? Weren't there plenty of other people around who could have committed the crime? That tavern has been closed for years. The defendant, the victim, and Tamora were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon was her sword. It was a given that Miss Tamora didn't do this. Another person might have shown up in the tavern after Celeste and I left. It would have been the witness who discovered the body. Alright. That's alright, mister. It's because you missed the beginning. His testimony was straightforward, but that's exactly what would help me. Celeste was innocent, so there had to be a flaw in his logic. I just need to compare each statement to each piece of evidence in my notes. Once I found the contradiction, I just need to present that piece of evidence to the contradicting statement. But I don't want to! I don't want to! But the game must move on. How do I do this? Objection! Anyway, objection! Commander White, are you sure that the victim was killed using the defendant's sword? Yeah, it's pretty obvious from the crime scene. I think I have to disagree with you on that. If your testimony is true, the defendant's sword couldn't have been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Apparently through your brain also, because you ain't using your IQ here. That may be, but take another look at the autopsy report. It says that the fatal wound contained traces of transmutation magic. You even testified that the sword was magical. So what's your point? It's simple. How could a non-magical blade leave traces of magic in the wound? I don't know either, Oren. I do not have a doctorate in arcane magic. My client's sword may look unique, but it's entirely non-magical. It couldn't have left those traces of transmutation on the wound. That doesn't make a lick of sense, is what I'm trying to tell you, bro! If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in his body? There's only one reasonable explanation. The wound was created magically and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward. And that girl's a mage. She could have easily whacked the old man using magic. Why would she murder the victim using a spell only to then stab him with her sword? That makes no sense. She would just be incriminating herself. If anything, the series of events proves something else. Someone used magic to murder the victim, then pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her. Objection. Ooh, she's hot! She's hot. Arya knows what's up. She's like if Edgeworth and Franziska had a baby. But that's kind of gross because they're brothers and sisters. Don't get ahead of yourself, Mr. Cuthbert. Your Honor, the defense is suggesting that another person used the sword to frame the defendant. The defendant clearly cast a spell on the sword at the time of the murder. She cast a spell? Commander testifies to how magic was used during the murder. Alright, I see where you're going with this. Alright, we're going. I'm so unenthusiastic about this case! I'm sorry, devs. You should have made the first murderer not hot. I'm vague! What can I say? The sword itself ain't magical, but spells can still be cast on it. The defendant over there, her spell compendium's got a spell named Mage Blade. She must have cast on her sword before stabbing the old man. She doesn't have to. Spell is the reason why we found trace magic on the body. Your Honor, she's ruining my flow? Oh no, man. I really like the prosecutor. Okay, hang on. I have to read this because I know nothing about arcane magic. Obtained evidence, mage blade, school, transmutation, incantation, arcane, gesture, non-duration while concentrating. Concentration, yes. For the duration of the spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, becomes unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of the spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no larger than a 5 feet cube. How tall is the victim? He looks taller than 5 feet. I'm just saying. A spell compendium lists every spell a mage knew how to cast. Doesn't tell me how tall Flintheart McCoy is. It was a fundamental piece of evidence that proved which spell a mage could and couldn't use. I'm just saying, the forensics in this world is a little behind if you can't, tell whose magic is on what. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you? No, my dad was the last person who had it. Why would a Flintheart have a spell compendium? But he's right, I know how to cast Mage Blade. It's actually the only spell I know. I would like to add that we found trace of transmutation magic on the defendant's sword as well. But you can't tell who cast it. Damn! I call sham! As I'm sure the court knows, magical traces stay on objects for 48 hours after the spell is cast on them. Hey, the alleged murder weapon is an ornately designed sword but has no magical properties. Traces of transmutation magics were detected on it. Those 48 hours really tighten the timeline for cases like this. Because of that, the crimes need to be investigated before all the magical traces disappear from the crime scene. It also gave the courts the perfect excuse to push these cases through the system as quickly as possible. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. I suppose, Your Honor. If I have to. If I must. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. He probably wasn't expecting to give a second testimony. Pressing his statement really helped in situations like this. Doing that might reveal a new piece of evidence that I could use against him. Can't even trace mana? What is this, the 1600s? Okay, to be fair, it is the year like 689. Sometimes the contradicted statement isn't always apparent in a witness's testimony. You can press statements during a cross-examination to gain more information about that specific statement. Pressing can sometimes reveal new statements or evidence you can use. Alright, if I must. I feel like all the enthusiasm to solve this case left me when I found out the murder was hard, because I really didn't want him to be the murderer. But like the game really told us, and it's so very sad, and I'm depressed. So anyway, let's press. The sword itself ain't magical, but spells can still be cast on it. Are you accusing my client of casting a spell and channeling it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost exclusively channeled through an object. The client clearly learned a spell that would aid her in her work as a mercenary. Speaking of which... Alright. Let's press that her spell compendium's got a spell called Mage Blade. It's a transmutation spell that sharpens and powers my sword. Wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any armor or protection at the time of his death. Maybe the game will put a twist on us? Probably not. Probably not. It very clearly showed us the moment of his death. That's why I'm so depressed, though. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. Perhaps she simply cast it out of habit. What matters is that the sword undeniably has traces of transmutation magic on it. Would be more convincing if you can tell me who cast it! She must have cast on her sword before stabbing the old man. Why would she go to the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone wouldn't be enough to murder a defenseless person. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? You don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that traces of magic were found on the body and the sword. Sherlock Holmes would disagree with you, but you know, I digress. Do you have any evidence to the contrary? Spell is the reason why we found traces of magic on the body. Yes. About that, spell only leave magical traces on the object they target, and those traces are only detectable for 48 hours. My client class Mage Blade, like you said, there shouldn't have been any magical traces on the wound. There would only be traces on the sword. We will always find random magic traces at crime scenes. We can explain each trace we detect. But that sounds like shoddy police work to me! That sounds more like a failure on the Inquisition's part than anything else. I agree! Can we really trust that your knights examined the crime scene properly? You don't believe me? Take a look at this picture. I've seen pictures of dead bodies while studying Miss Tamara's past cases, but there was something unnerving about seeing someone I had met yesterday. Carefully inspected the photo, taking great care to keep it out of Celeste's view. You can see here plain as day, the sword has the highest concentration of transmutation traces. Why didn't those traces cover the weapon? Can't see anything. Am I supposed to just know what part is the trace? Is it just this part? No, but that's part of the sword, right? Where's the, what? Wait, how am I supposed to know what part is the trace? Will the transmutation spell damage the sword somehow? Picture of Flint McCoy after he was murdered. It shows the traces of transmutation magic that were on the sword. Oh, was this picture not brought to my attention? What would be the point of that? The entire case is open and shut. Oh, well. She asked that because she doesn't think so. Like, when they say there's traces, like, what does the trace look like? I'm so confused! Like, is the trace a different color? Like, where's the trace? I'm so confused. I'm just saying. I feel like I needed a little bit more instructions. Because I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Is all of this the trace? I don't know, man. I'm confused. What about let's keep going? Arya sees something she doesn't like. The prosecutor seemed unnerved by something. She looks just like Francisca right there. You can see it right in the photo. She stabbed him right through the chest using Mage Blade. Huh? It was right about the photo. It clearly showed that he was stabbed from the front. So why did that bother me so much? Stabbed through the front. Not gonna lie, I lost 2 and the Hexono effect is not helping. My only guess is the red thing before his chest. I think that, isn't that just part of the sword? I think that's this part of the sword? Is it not? I'm so confused. Is this the transfiguration magic or is that part of the sword? I don't know. I need a bigger picture of the sword. I'm really confused. It also sucks I can't put the picture of this and the sword side by side. Huh? Wait, what? I don't know, man. I don't know where we're going with this, but you know, whatever. Let's press statement number 5. Clearly showed that he was stabbed from the front, so why did that bother me so much? I don't know! The photo is so hard to look at! They surely don't mean the circle is not covering the whole sword, right? Maybe? Like, is this blood or is that traces of magic? Oh, I guess if he was stabbed from forward, the broken glass shouldn't be on this side. Because he would drop it behind his body. Or it would fall under his body. It would only fall in front of him if you... I don't know, man. I'm honestly... I'm so confused. That photo has told me nothing. But we're going with it. I'm going with it. We're just gonna present the photo here and then see what happens. Because I don't know what's going on. Objection! Anyway, objection. Oh, did I present? I think I presented the wrong evidence. I'm supposed to present this. Objection! Oh, it's not it? I'm really confused. Who am I to judge? Fatal Wounds shows heavy trace of transmutation magic. I don't get it. I'm a little bit confused. Target object must be... For the duration of the spell, the edges of the object usually becomes unnaturally sharp. Yeah, infinite tries. You can't fail in this game. Making more effective at slashing through material. While under the effect of the spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no larger than a 5 feet cube. I don't know where we're going with this. And obviously there's something on the photo. But I can't tell, like, what they're trying to show us with... They'll only leave magical traces on objects they target, and those traces are only detectable for 48 hours. My kind class mage blade, like I said, there shouldn't have been any magical traces on the wound. It would only be traces on the sword. Always find random magical traces at crime scenes. Okay. Oh, it's the hexagonal things? Sounds more like failure. Is the hexagonal thing all traces magic? So they're saying all of these hexagons are the trace magic. I think I get it. I'm still confused. Why didn't those traces cover the weapon? Oh no, it is over the weapon. What? Did the transmutation spell damage the sword somehow? Oh wait. Hang on. Is it the shape of the sword versus the shape of the wound? Oh, I think the wound is bigger than the sword, maybe? The contradiction must be the sword must be covered by the whole circle. Yeah, it doesn't cover it, meaning it may be a different sword. I think what they're saying is if you look at the wound here is smaller than the sword. Meaning there's no way he was stabbed from the front. He would have been stabbed from the back. Maybe that's what they're getting. I honestly, I don't know. Objection! Anyway, I'm just gonna rotate through all of our evidence and see what happens. Objection! I'm really confused. I think they're going with like either that he's not stabbed through the front or back or that it's a different sword, but I don't know. The target object must be no larger than a 5 feet cube. Objection! But he's obviously... I don't know how tall he is. I'm really confused. Objection! We're not going anywhere with this. Okay. I've already pressed everything. She must have cast down her sword before stabbing the old man. The spell is the reason why we found traces of magic on the body. Oh, the trace is only on the back. It's not on the front. Because if he stabbed her, if she stabbed her through the front, shouldn't the trace be on the front of the body, not on the back? Maybe that's what they're getting at? Objection! Just spam till we get it right. The quorum can't wait. You know what? I agree. I'm really confused. Objection! I mean, the photo's obviously important. I just don't know. Oh, I don't think she can cast it over the sword because it's bigger than a 5 feet cube. I'm guessing she can't cast it over the sword. Objection! I don't know, I'm so confused. I mean, the photo's obviously important. Objection! Because he doesn't like it. Alright, well, since there's infinite tries, we are just going to cycle through all of the... Objection! I don't know what's going on. I'm really confused. Because we don't know how big the sword is. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know where they're going with this. And also, this photo's still confusing the crap out of me. Like, Is all of this trace magic? Everything that's like honeycomb is this trace magic? Or like what part of it is the trace magic? I don't know, man. Okay, we're gonna present the photo on every single statement and see what happens.
Objection!
Because there's several logic that I'm following, but I don't really get where we're going with it. We're going with Brondo's strategy. We're spamming until it takes something.
Objection!
I think I pressed the wrong evidence. This game is good. We're doing so well, guys. We're doing so well.
Objection!
Okay. I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Since there's no penalty because, you know, there's no hint system either. We're just gonna go with everything. Oh! What did I present it on? I presented the time of death. Oh, because it says that after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. But they're also saying that, oh, okay, I get it now. I get it now. In the picture, he was stabbed from the front. In the autopsy report, he was stabbed from the back. That's where the contradiction is. Oh my god. I'm so bad at this game, Muto. Can you tell? Not gonna lie, my lack of enthusiasm with not wanting to convict the hot guy is affecting my gameplay. But also, I'm just not smart enough this game. I'm sorry, Commander White, but you've shown us an even more glaring contradiction. In your testimony, you said my client stabbed the victim right through the chest. You can see it right there in the picture. So where's your contradiction? That's exactly the problem, Commander. Your picture undeniably shows that my client's sword impaled the victim from the front, but if that's really true, why does the autopsy say that he died from being stabbed in his back? What? Yeah, what indeed? Orem, you were supposed to submit everything you had to me. Why did you withhold this photo? There was no point. She's a mage. You couldn't have been anyone else. I was gonna ask if you were born yesterday, but like, you've been around for 64 years. Honestly, can't even blame the game. This one is on us. Yeah, I don't know how to read. Memesh rippled through the gallery, even the judge shifted uncomfortably in his seat. I think we were all very confused by that photo because of all the honeycomb thingy. We got sidetracked. Our justice system may have been corrupt, but they never get away with such a blatant error. Yes, sir! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? Your Honor, this photo clearly shows my client's sword impaling him from the front. Which means there's only one way for the autopsy to be true. The sword would have needed to be inserted to the wound after the victim had died. That's crazy? Oh, you ain't see crazy yet. You think this is crazy. Then why don't you enlighten me, Commander White? Do you think my client impaled the victim hilt first with her sword? Or do you think she stabbed him through the chest, removed it, and then placed her sword in the body to frame herself? We got hyper-focused on the wrong thing. We did. Well, that's what? No, what happened here is obvious. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. But they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side. You know, the way they talked about the justice system, I didn't think there was gonna be a jury. They're actually pretty good at this. Yes, well. It's called the buff of being the MC. It appears I underestimated you, but you've still gotten ahead of yourself. Alright, Arias coming in. Is that so, Miss Steelwind? Let me ask the defense one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did? How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out. I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence, but one fact still stands. There were magical traces on the wound and the sword. Would you like me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? I didn't like where she was going with this. Only one. The defendant is the only registered mage who live in Cornhaven. Why do you guys assume it's someone who lives there? IDKY, but I feel like Celeste is being sarcastic. No, I think she's genuine. So I think she's supposed to be the waifu. Right, Cornhaven was the village of farmers. Celeste was the only mage there. You guys are acting like no one can visit this town. The defendant was also established to have been with the victim minutes before his time of death. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. Okay, well, bring me your witness! You, on the other hand, can only implicate an unknown assailant. I doubt you can even tell me who they are. Even so, it's clear that the prosecution can't reliably prove how the victim was murdered. Can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but the evidence still leans heavily against the defense. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We'll give the Inquisition time to investigate the crime scene and clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct the investigation more thoroughly this time. Well, we bought ourselves time, I guess. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. No, I think this is going to be a much longer game than I anticipated. We're not even through the first case yet. Hello, Cuthbert. Hello, Ruby. Hello, Miss Tamora. I tensed as she approached me. I've been so focused on Celeste's case, I hadn't even thought about how I left things with my mentor. Scaled Lord. She had probably been in the gallery too. Oh! I just realized why they say Scaled Lord. It's a dragon. Because their country is called Wyvengard. As in Wyvern the dragon. I see. She must have seen how I froze up during the first cross-examination. Your job is to put your client at ease, not the other way around. Sorry. I'm sure she was just snapping you out of it, but everyone saw her become violent with you. That's not exactly helpful if you want to prove she's not a violent murderer. Make no mistake, the prosecution will use that to their advantage. What's wrong with you? He did fine, Celeste. Celeste, you're new here, but like, the jury can see everything. But Court, if the Inquisition didn't botch the investigation, Cuthbert would have never been able to buy this much time. In case you've forgotten, he's my defense attorney, not you. See? This is what I mean. She's supposed to be wifey. She's kind of annoying me now, though. She's becoming a little trope, and I don't like that. I don't get why he has to take notes from you. No, she's right, Celeste. I need to do better. I can't ever let myself freeze up like that again. I might not be so lucky next time. According to Google, it's 15 hours for the main story? Yeah. But we're like, no, I think we're barely halfway through the main story. And we're like 2 hours in. So it would take us like 20 hours to get through it, maybe. I'm not sure. Other than that, I'll admit you did well. You cross-examined the commander adequately. You handled Steelwind's rebuttals as well as you could have. I remembered how Prosecutor Steelwind was glaring at me at the start of the trial. Even thinking about it was enough to make me nauseous. Steelwind, why did that name sound so familiar? Wait, isn't House Steelwind one of the Four Pillar families? That's right, Lucio Steelwind is the Grand General of Wyvengard's military. Hasn't he been caught up in a lot of scandals recently? Scandals? He's been having people killed by the thousands. Right, I remember seeing several articles about him in the Rathome Gazette. In recent years, groups voicing their grievance against the crown has begun to surface in the countryside. King Olivier would answer their complaints by unleashing Steelwind soldiers on these so-called insurrectionists. More often than not, their peaceful protests turned violent, leading to bloody retaliations from Lucia's forces. And Arya is Lucio Steelwind's only heir. When I saw her name on the docket, I wrote her off as a noble role-playing for fun. But she's good, better than most of the prosecutors I faced. She's taking this seriously, and with what Flintheart was doing, I can't help but wonder if the prosecutor is acting on her father's behalf. Do you think Prosecutor Steelwind is protecting the real killer? The Inquisition Knights were the first responders to the scene. Didn't that strike you as odd? Right, in a small town like Cornhaven, the village militia would have been the first people there. For the Inquisition to respond so quickly, they would have need to know that magic was used at all. This whole mess feels a little too staged, and with the Steelwind involved, this whole situation reeks of corruption. I'm sure locking up Flintheart's daughter would send a clear message to his allies. If that were true, why does she help us in the dungeons? Either way, this works out in our favor. I can't fight the Steelwinds on the battlefield, but I can fight them in the courtroom. On that subject, I've been meaning to give you this. My spell compendium? I grabbed it from the dining room before the Inquisition arrived. They have a bad habit of misplacing pieces of evidence like this. Celeste Spell Compendium. Celeste McCoy's Spell Compendium contains the formula for only one spell, Mage Blade. So this is your Spell Compendium, and it only has one spell. Mage Blade. The prosecution will need to prove that Mage Blade was used in the murder. It will restrict their plan of attack, which will give you an edge over them. But I still have no idea who actually did this. Celeste, I need to talk to you about what your father was doing. Oh. She glanced at the bailiff. He was looming close, staring daggers at her. I should go. Looks like they can't wait to throw me back in that cell. She turned away and quickly walked off without another word. Miss Tamar just shook her head. She's practically begging for a conviction at this rate. Bringing up her father may have struck a nerve. I would need to be more delicate next time. I can speak with her in the dungeons later. Right now, I want to take a look at the crime scene. With how negligent the Inquisition were, I doubt they found everything. If you're planning to investigate the crime scene, you'll need this. She reached in her coat and pulled out a small blue runestone. I froze for a moment, staring wide-eyed at it. Attorney's runestone, a magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. I know, it's amazing the amount of magic knickknacks they have in this game. And yet, we can't identify who cast a specific spell. That's attorney's runestone. I had a commission for you after you passed the exam last month. You've been one ready this entire time. Cuthbert, are you crying? No. I wiped my eyes and delicately stole the runestone in my pocket of my jacket. You embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to be that sloppy again. As much as I hate to admit it, your investigation mind is sharper than mine. If anyone can get through this, it's you. Thank you! She turned to take a seat at the bench near the courtroom entrance. It looked like she would be staying here until the case was over. I tucked Celeste's Spell Compendium into my jacket. I hadn't slept and my body still ached from the carriage ride. I still didn't know whether I was truly up to this. But none of that matters. Celeste was counting on me and I wouldn't let anyone get away with killing Flintheart, even if the steel ones were involved. Oh. The Inquisition has set up a teleportation circle at the crime scene. As the defense attorney for this case, I was permitted to use it. With it, I could instantly travel back and forth between the McCoy Tavern and the capital. It was miles better than having to travel by carriage. Hello, Oren. What's up? We're the MC, we're posing all this incompetency. Yeah, probably. We're exposing all their incompetency. We're gonna try! What am I doing here? Commander White stepped in my way as I approached the tavern entrance. This time I took out my attorney's runestone and presented it to him. I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have every right to look at the crime scene. Whatever, just remember I've got my eyes on you. Take that rock out of my face now. Alright. You've begun your investigation into the crime. You'll need to collect clues and evidence by moving to different locations, talking to witnesses, and examining locations of importance. Oh. Okay. There were candles on each of the tables in the dining area, but there were also lamps mounted on the walls. On closer inspection, they appeared to be artificery, machines that could reproduce the effects of magic. Why wasn't the Inquisition using those instead? There were lamps mounted on the walls. Seems to be built into the tavern. Is this an artificery machine? I didn't expect to find something this sophisticated in a town like this. Bar, artificery is just magic with a different name. I concur. Actually, these machines draw ether from a surrounding ley lines to... I didn't ask for a science lesson. I concur. It's still magic. Anyways, look where artificery got these folks. The energy cell broke and they haven't had any powerful weeks. Just goes to show nothing can beat good at oil and flame. You know what? I concur! Broken power cell. The McCoy Inn is outfitted with several lamps powered by artificery. However, the arcane power cell has been broken for weeks and the lamps can't be turned on. It's a portrait of someone. There's some text on it. Adam Eveline, politician of the Pedantic. I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations south of here. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they have going on there. An election? Have Flintheart be studying alternate forms of government for his little revolution? This music is very chill for, you know, investigating a crime scene. It's a painting of a maze. There's some text on it. Samola Dagulian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts, he mysteriously disappeared one day. It's rumored that he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. Y'all, I froze. I froze. Hold on. See if I can unfreeze myself. Wow. I look like I'm sleeping on stream, guys. I promise I'm not. Alright, let's keep going while I attempt to move. I can read with my eyes closed. It's gonna be fine. Dagalian was reckless in casting the spell, however, and he quickly lost control of it. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't die during the accident, but if that were true, where did the spell take him? Reset? It's alright. I can read with my eyes closed. It's gonna work out fine, Brondo. Sounds like a cautionary tale against using magic. That might explain why Flintheart kept it in his tavern. TJ, run it back! It's right. We can investigate with our eyes closed. That's how incompetent these people are. Shards of a broken bottle were next to the chalk outline. The shard has a label on it. It says Lotus Juice. I've never heard of that brand before. Shattered bottle of Lotus Juice. The shattered remains of a glass bottle. You found it next to Flintheart McCoy's body. The label says the words Lotus Juice. There was a chalk outline on the ground of the tavern, creating a rough silhouette of Flintheart's body. VTuber slacks off while streaming. Exactly. I'm taking a nap. Guys, I'm so good at this game, I can take a nap and play it at the same time. Do you believe that? I'm just so good. I'm just so good. Hold on, guys. I'm back. See? Told you guys it would only take a second. Alright, let's keep going. I noticed the traces of transmutation magic on the ground in the photo. I traced my finger over the areas where they had been detected. The texture was rougher and almost sticky. Did someone use transmutation magic to alter the floor? Alright, I think that's everything. You know, let's just make sure. Now that my eyes are open, I'm gonna make sure I look at everything. I was doing it with aura before, but aura is not as precise as my eyes. Okay, so if you investigated something, the magnifying glass become wide. And if you haven't, it's black. Okay. Let's talk. I have some questions for you, Commander White. Seriously, I'm gonna help you. I know who your boss is. I know what you're up to. She probably sent you here to calm me. Just need information about the crime scene, as is my right. Sure you do. At first, I thought he was just another corrupt knight, but this feels oddly personal. I wonder if this could just all be a misunderstanding. I may be able to persuade him to cooperate with me. You'll occasionally need to argue against people and persuade them to cooperate with your investigation. Psychological profiles help you in those ensuing arguments. They give you information about your opponent and help you understand which options to pick. You can fill a person's psychological profile by talking to them or presenting them certain items. Okay, Well, maybe this is maybe we don't have enough yet. Well, let's ask him about the Inquisition. So what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly? Trying to pick a fight with me? No, I'm genuinely curious. But we're caught in whenever they find traces of magic at a crime scene. Do crimes like this happen often? Nah, maybe once in a blue moon. It makes sense. Most mages were in the nobility after all. The ones who made a habit of falling into scandals didn't last very long. You must have an easy job then. You got that right. That's the only reason we exist, to clean up the nobility's messes. Didn't seem very happy about that. Oh, we're building a profile by asking questions. Got it. Let's ask him about the mages. You seem to speak negatively about magic. Do you have a personal grudge against mages? It ain't a grudge, it's just common sense. All it takes is one spell. Some rich kid just needs to wave their hand and mutter some magical nonsense. And the next thing you know, someone's dead on the ground. Not to mention if some bonehead really overused their magic, then end up snapping and going on a rampage. You talking about mage blight? Yep, it's what happens when a mage gets too arrogant, and nobles have that in spades. I don't know if this is going too far, but why would you join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that my job is to sweep the nobility's crime under the rug. I didn't mean to insinuate. Nope, you have the right of it. Any time a noble screws up, I'm told to look the other way. But every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least they were before your boss showed up. My boss? To hear something against what Miss Tamora was doing? Let's ask about Ruby. I have to ask, did something happen between you and Miss Tamora? Miss Tamora, you really are her lackey through and through. She's my legal guardian. I owe a lot to her. Oh, that's who you were this whole time. I didn't even know she had a kid. Look, I don't know what she's told you, but she ain't the hero you think she is. This is about the rumors, isn't it? They're just lies sprayed by the nobility to discredit her. They ain't lies, kid. I've seen it for myself. That woman's a criminal. My hands clenched in a fist before I calmed myself down. This wasn't the time for emotion. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She hates the aristocracy just as much as you do. Yeah, whatever. Alright. Commander was being hostile towards me. At first I thought he was just being corrupt or apathetic. But he seemed to have a personal grudge against Miss Tamora and me. To clear up this misunderstanding, he might help me. Not yet, I'm not ready! I can't really... Oh, I can go upstairs. Let's see what's upstairs. As I made my way up the stairs, I overheard Steelwing arguing with someone. If you keep showing your face here, people will start asking questions. I have the investigation under control now. All you have to do is stay quiet until this is over. It's the pretty man! I'm so sad that he's the murderer. He's so pretty! The devs of this game, did they not get noticed? You can't make the murderer so pretty! It's unfair! Look at him! He's so pretty! I want to convict him. Anyway. This is what it is. I'll only suffer a little. It may be a Steelwind, but this is my land. I would do as I see fit. As I turn down the hallway, I bump into what appears to be a nobleman. With a quick motion, he drew a handkerchief to clean the parts of the clothes that had brushed against me, his cold gaze hardening to a contemptuous glare. Gave me the same look you probably give to a rotting pile of excrement on the Corehaven streets. But he's so hot, Tyrion. You don't understand. Oh, sorry. Watch where you're going, you weed. Oh, you're the defense attorney from the trial, aren't you? And you are? Not my tie, 7 at most? Not gonna lie. I like the snobby ones. I'm Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. Garrick Pierce, occupation nobleman, age 38. The leader of House Pierce. He's the ruling noble of Corehaven and the villages nearby. He appears to be involved in Prosecutor Steelwind's case against the Celeste, but to what extent? Only you weren't such a stubborn nuisance. I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial. I suppose that you also believe my client's guilty? I never said that. But I'm not wrong, am I? It matters not what I believe. The entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the public. Magic is a gift for the nobility and the nobility alone. It is a symbol of our cosmic right to rule. Masters like that girl should know their place. This is what happens when the gift of magic is used by those of impure blood. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all of this. Oh, I must commend you. You almost had me fooled. Excuse me? Wait, do you actually believe her little story? I don't know. You can't smile at that, babe. It makes me lose my train of thought. I hate it here. What good is a defense attorney if they don't believe in their clients? 40? I take it back. Damn, that's a good look at the age. I think he's 38, yeah. Isn't he so pretty? So sad. I don't want to convict him. What if we just let Celeste die? It's too bad you can't lose in this game. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm lagging a little bit, but that's okay. It's because I'm depresso. Scale Lord, and here I took you for another envious commoner, but you actually believe that right. Are you sure you're Tamora's brat? Wow, rude. And you had to pick my battles, but I really weighed the legal consequence of punching him square in the face! Let me tell you something, boy. Even if that bastard is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption. The game is trying very hard to make you dislike him, but it's not working on me. The king believes there's any unrest here, even for a moment, he will unleash Lucio Steelwind and his soldiers upon this region. I'm sure you're well aware of what tends to follow after. That doesn't mean my client should be convicted of a crime she didn't commit. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability and well-being of the people in this land? You're far too short-sighted. That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. Glance at the prosecutor for a moment and then back at me. For a moment, I caught a flicker of fear in his eyes. I suppose that even House Pierce had reasons to fear the Steelwind. Honestly, between Celeste and him, he is the pretty one, but he is so I'm the villain coded. Yeah, but that's what makes him hot. I'm so sad. The death is so evil, making him the murderer. There's a rule! You can't make the really pretty ones the evil one until, like, the last case! Hi. Without another word, he walked down the stairs. I don't agree with him. What? Our system should exist to deliver truth and justice, not quell public opinion. If you really believe that, you don't be working against my client. Do you honestly think she's the kind of monster who would murder her own father? I'm not so superficial that I judge someone based on their appearance. See? See? I like Arya. Arya's the top of my list right now. The only thing I trust is evidence, and all of it points to her as the only possible killer. Is that what you really believe? Or are you just hiding the fact that you're here on your father's behalf? Ooh! Touch the nerve right there! I'm not working with my father. I'm working against him just as much as you are. See? 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 Forget Celeste! Arya's the real waifu. What, she's working against her father? My apologies, I don't know what came over me. That's too dead prosecutor, where have I seen this before? I'm telling you! She's like Franziska and Edgeworth merged into one. It's fine. I respect you, Mr. Cuthbert. You should fight according to your own ideals, just as I will fight for mine. I tried to think of a retort, but said nothing as she walked past me. She is the best character in this game by far. There were some candles lighting up the hallway. It looked like they were a part of the old architecture. Okay. Several doors led to guest rooms. Aside from the rooms that Miss Tamora and I used, they didn't look like they'd been open for quite some time. Alright, I guess the only reason to come upstairs was to meet the real murderer. There was a door at the end of the hallway. I saw light from under the door. Someone was inside. I tried to open the door, but it seems to be locked. I knocked on the door, but received no answer in return. Alright, I think that's all that's here. Let's go back to the tavern. Guessing it's time to speak to them. Alright. We're going with the argument. I don't know what's going on, but you know. Commander White is stubborn and stuck in his way. He seems to have a grudge against Ruby. Tomorrow and will react negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. You have an issue with me, Commander White? Don't give me that crap. I've seen who you work for. You think I don't know what you're doing? Ruby tomorrow is a crooked lawyer. I'll be dead in the ground before I help you. Regardless of what Miss Tora has done, I'm the one heading this case. My client deserves fair trial, fair compensation. All I'm trying to do is give that to her. Okay, let's not mention Tamora. Let's not mention Ruby. It doesn't matter how you feel about Miss Tamora or me. My client deserves a fair trial with fair representation. All I'm trying to do is give that to her, and I can't do that if you withhold information from me. I've seen how she defends her clients. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. She'll do whatever it takes to win. You're just another crook. Doesn't matter what you say, I know you're just like her. Okay. Me being her sister had nothing to do with it. You know that helping me is the right thing to do. I'm not Ruby tomorrow. What you think of her is relevant here. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm trying to run an honest case. Forgery, blackmail. Have you seen me do any of these things? I've only defended my client by pointing out your mistakes. I don't think this is a good idea to defend, according to the psychological profile there. We don't really have any evidence, so I'm going rationalize. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. Have you seen me do any of those things? Because the way I see it, I've only defended my client by pointing out your mistakes. Alright, it's working. Look, kid, after what I've seen her pull in court, I'm not going to fall for it. I have no reason to trust you. No matter what, I know you're a crooked lawyer raised by the biggest crook of them all. Alright. No proof that she's a crook. That's not gonna work. Just defense attorney who's asking information about the case. Nothing I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. But the only thing she taught me is how to practice law. Have you seen me engage in any crooked behavior? I don't know if deflect is a good idea, but I'm going with it. I'm just a defense attorney who's asking for information about the case. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Oh, it worked! It worked! He spent some time searching for a rebuttal, but after a while, he just let out a resigned sign. I'm very persuasive, guys! I have the power of persuasion! I'm so good. JK, I just got lucky. You just want info on the case, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. Alright, fine, I'll answer your questions, but you better not make me regret this. Yay! I successfully persuaded Orem Y. I'm so persuasive. Alright, let's see. Let's ask him about the murder weapon. I'm not entirely sure that the sword was the real murder weapon. Right, I guess you want to prove that someone else stuck the sword in the body. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? Pass the speech check! No. I'm doing great, Brondo! You're asking if we found another bloody weapon lying around. We didn't. That would have been a little too convenient, wouldn't it? If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it. Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Steel went turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If there was something hidden there, we would have found it already. Oh. What does she do? Evocation? I don't even know what that means. Alright. Asking about your mistake. I can't believe you overlooked something so obvious. Oh, shut it with that. I already got an earful about that mess from Steelwind. You don't have to worry about me screwing things up. Steelwind's taken over the entire investigation. Do prosecutors normally do that? Yeah, when Ace Attorney they do. No, but she ain't no prosecutor. She's a Steelwind. I know better than to go get orders from her sword. Well, at least the game acknowledged the, the oddity of it all. I know we made a mistake, but she's taking this too far. She even had my men draft a map of the crime scene. Really? Could I see it? Knock yourself out. I have a bunch of copies. Don't know how much it'll do, though. Ew, we got a crime scene map! Geometrically scaled map at that! Me likey. Hold on, let me take a look at it. Sorry, dude. I gotta look at the evidence, bro. Okay. 5 feet by 5 feet. Each cube is 5 feet. I see. This will probably be relevant later when we talk about the Mage Blade magic or whatever. Let's talk about Arya. I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented, that's true. A pain in my ass is what she is. That damn noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. Well, Orem, you kinda needed the help. No, I'm not saying you did, but you kinda did. Lord knows what she's even doing here. Do you think she's here on behalf of her father? I honestly don't know. My man's are on the edge because of that. We were deployed to one of those regions. The ones where her old man was squashing those rebellions. They said we need to investigate the terrorists there. But by the time we got there, they just had us clean up the bodies. Scaled Lord. Doesn't matter if it's women or children. Lucio Steelman will kill them all the same. A bunch of my men quit after that. They couldn't stomach working for a monster like that. What about you? We all gotta get paid somehow. Not like him doing things. He's basically a duke. I Found everything that I could find in the dining area, but what did it all mean? No other murder weapon was found, and there wasn't any evidence of another person at the scene either. I only knew about the anonymous witness who discovered the body. Are you okay, kid? Once again, I let everything else disappear from the world. You listening? There's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to whether or not Flintheart moved when he was attacked. I invoke my right against self-incrimination? You plead the fifth, Pawpaw? Why? What did you do? How did Flintheart move before he died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. That implies something about the location of Flintheart's death. Okay, what is this? Deductions! Oh, God! During investigations, you'll sometimes go over all that you've learned to formulate deductions. Tyrion will think through the case and raise statements that must be answered. Use the arrows to construct a statement that responds to the statement. Use the arrows to construct a sentence that responds to the statement. While more than one response may be technically true, only one response will be meaningful. Okay.
What if?
Okay. During the attack, Flintheart did not move during the attack. Flintheart died when he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. He might have even died instantaneously. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's also the autopsy report, which says that he died from stab from behind. He must have been facing away from his attacker. He was probably caught off guard, and he would have been in shock and too incapacitated to move. It also doesn't look like his body was dragged anywhere either. He was definitely attacked right where this chalk line is. Alright, geometrically scaled map of the crime scene. Flintheart died at the location at the meat V marker. This is also the location where the murder must have occurred. There's also the shadow bottle of the lotus juice. And let's take a look at the updated map. Okay. How did the bottle shatter? The fragments are right next to the body. The bottle must have only been shattered hours ago.
Maybe.
So Flintheart dropped the bottle during the attack. Flintheart dropped the bottle exactly when he was attacked, which implies that he was holding it when the attack occurred. Shattered bottle of lotus juice. The shattered remains of a glass bottle. Flintheart McCoy was holding this bottle and dropped it during the murder. The label says the words lotus juice. What's so strange about that? These details may seem insignificant, but together they'll give me a better idea of what the board looks like. It's also the fact that the lights were out. Were these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene? No, we had to light some so we could see the crime scene properly. What was the state of the crime scene? Thought it was weird too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in the dark, so they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights.
Maybe.
Muto! There's a lot of thinking. The crime scene wasn't lit by the lamps. If there was any lighting during the attack, it could have been produced by the murderer. I could slowly see the position of the pieces, but there were still areas I was unsure of. Broken power cell. The McCoy Inn is outfitted with several lamps powered by artificery. However, the arcane power cell had been broken for weeks. The lamps can't be turned on. This means that the lights were not operational during the murder. They might have used a torch or a lantern of some kind. Additionally, the argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been sparked by something. Things seemed fine between them before I went to bed. It was spontaneous. They weren't planning on having a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have a lot of visibility. He probably never saw the attack coming. He would have been surprised and in too much shock to run away. Bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Was he pouring a drink for himself or a visitor? Tyrion has entered the zone! I was in a frenzy, but the commander snapped me back to reality. What was that all about? Sorry, I just get lost in my head sometimes. Yeah, well, cut it out. You're mumbling like a crazy person. Right, sorry. Feel like I found everything I could here. It was time to move somewhere else. Okay, can I go into that room now? Or no? No. Alright, well, I guess it's time to go talk to Celeste then. I arrived back in the dungeon. Celeste was huddled down the corner of her cell. She noticed me and the weight from her shoulder seemed to lift, if only for a moment. Hi! She had avoided me before, but I doubt she had many friendly faces since the trial. Hi, can't stay for long. I just need to ask you some questions about the case. Can I examine this place? Let's do it. There was a steel door that led into the cell. A magical mechanism covered by a steel box was placed over the lock. And help and notice that mechanism had a dent in it. It looked like the impact come from within the cell. Lit torches were hanging on the cell wall. It seems a bit irresponsible to light a fire in here, but prisoner safety was probably the last thing on the Inquisition's mind. The cell had a bar window. The bars were rusted. If a prisoner tried to escape, there would be a 3-story drop to freedom. Anyway, that was fun looking at the prison. I'm really sorry for how it happened today. Well, it all ended up okay in the end, right? That was unusually forgiving. If she hadn't calmed down, the trial may have ended. If she hadn't calmed me down, the trial may have ended very differently. I still don't understand, though. Why were there so many traces of magic at the crime scene? Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day? I used it when I was training last week. Is that where those traces came from? No, magic traces only last for 48 hours. After that, they disappear completely. Not to mention that spells only leave traces of magic on the objects that they are cast on. Even if the sword made physical contact with the body, the traces shouldn't have spread to the wound. Really? What does that mean then? I don't know. The floor next to the body has strange textures to it too. The killer used the transmutation spell and may have changed your sword and the surrounding floor. Doesn't make any sense though. Alright, let's ask her about the unbreakable sword. I know my theory sounds far-fetched, but the traces were only on parts of the sword. That must mean that the outer layer of the sword must have broken up during the murder. But my sword can't be damaged like that, even when transmutation magic is used on it. That's the whole reason why I have it. How can you be so sure? Back when I was traveling, I'd always break my weapons by swinging them too hard. They'd end up breaking in 2 or 3 swings, maybe 4 if it was well made. How much force does she swing with these weapons with? You don't want to know. The sword was a gift from one of my clients. He said it was specially carved from the bones of a purple worm. Transmutation spells can't damage them. I've had it for years and it doesn't have a single chip in it. I don't even need to sharpen it. Where did you get this sword again? The Eastern Kingdoms. Isn't travel outside of Wyvengard illegal? Mercenaries don't have a lot more legitimate options for work in Wyvengard. I did what I had to do. I doubt I'd be able to contact the swordsmaker in time. If at all, I would just have to take her word for it. But if what she was saying was true, why weren't the traces of transmutation magic covering the entire sword? Ask her about their dad. Just tell me more about your father. I'm sorry, I know this must be difficult for you. I remember how you two were yesterday. Is this really going to help? Knowing more about him could help me figure out who actually did this. Okay, I was adopted by the McCoys when I was a baby, but they always treated me like I was part of their family. The townsfolk would always shoo me away. They didn't want anything to do with the noble bastard. My dad got into a bunch of fights with them over that. I had to go and ruin everything. He was the voice of dissidents, wasn't he? Did you share his views? I knew he hated the nobility, but I didn't know about his rallies until just recently. If I knew how much danger his life was in, I'd have never left Wyvengard. I think he knew that. If I'd been there that night, it's not your fault. No one could have expected that. I felt sorry for her, but I really needed to know more. I could hear your argument from my room last night. Our neighbors must have overheard it too. Did any of them come by to check up on you two? They might have seen the person who did this. I doubt it. Even if they did say something, they wouldn't testify for someone like me. Why, I thought your father was a key figure among the dissidents. Yeah, but all of his supporters come from the neighboring towns. Everyone inside the village hates our family. People could tell I was adopted. It's not as if I looked like either of my parents. Rumors spread about how some noble lord must have had a tryst with my mom. They were wrong, obviously, but it's hard to stop a rumor like that when it spreads. It's fine, I stopped caring about it years ago. Things were manageable before, but things got worse. My dad started speaking out against the nobility. He wasn't just a pariah at that point. He was drawing a lot of attention to Cornhaven. Everyone's heard the rumors about what the Grand General is doing in villages like ours. The neighbors tried to threaten my dad to stop. When that didn't work, they started vandalizing our tavern. They'd even steal my parents' supplies. I had to come back to Wyvengard because some of the other villagers broke into the tavern. They were cowards. They thought they could scare your dad into stopping. They were scared. My dad was painting a giant target on this region. It's not as if the kingdom would care if a village like ours were destroyed. She wasn't wrong. Story of Lucius Dillwyn's were circulating in the papers for months. Even with that, he still stood at the top of his kingdom. There were no real consequences. Alright, let's talk about the argument. Could you tell me why Flintheart was so angry at you? For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated magic. If you ever mentioned it around him, he'd fly into a rage about it. And you were born a mage. Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. Fighting always came naturally to me, so I became a mercenary and learned how to use magic to help me fight. Most of Wyvernguard's mages are in the nobility. People will pay a lot for a soldier who can use arcane magic. So that's why she was a mercenary. Alright, evidence updated. Celeste McCoy learned magic so she could support her family. Apparently many people will pay extra for a mercenary that can use magic. Last night, my dad found my spell compendium. When I saw him holding it, I finally came clean to him, and that set him off. He shouted at me, he told me that I had betrayed him and everything he stood for. I deserved it. I knew how much he hated magic. He was fighting for what he believed in. I wasn't even there to protect him. I'm sure he still loved you, he just lost his temper. He died hating me. No, I could see in his eyes he hated me. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. I reached that, but I didn't say anything more. There's a locked door in the tavern at the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but it's the only room I haven't cleaned yet. The end of the hallway? I think that's my room. Do you know how to get in there? I'm your lawyer. I'm not going to do anything strange. Sorry, you're right. I'll always keep the key on me. You can use this to get inside. Alright. Let's go check out a room. We have time. Wait, can I use it? But I have a key now! Why can't I use it? I'm so confused. Oh, I can go to her room, like here. Okay. There we go. I slid Celeste came to the lock and turned, allowing the door to creak open. I heard the fumbling of objects on the other side. Someone else was there. Jolie McCoy. I've already told you guys everything I know. Oh, it's the mom. Well, damn, her assets are quite in your face. Something about the way the woman carried herself reminded me of Celeste. I knew she was adopted, but she clearly took after her mother. I recognized the same bubbly warmth in the woman's posture, tempered with a subtle hint of maturity. Sorry if I'm intruding, but what are you doing in Celeste's room? I'm sorry, I'm Jolene. I'm Celeste's mother. Jolene McCoy, unemployed, age 46. Celeste's mother, I can't imagine what she's going through. She not only has to grieve her husband's death, but also deal with her daughter's arrest for his murder. Can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for her. I really appreciate you sticking by her after she hit you like that. It's fine, really. I kind of deserved her for freezing up like that. Anyways, Jolene was Flintheart's wife. That means she knew him better than anyone else, even Celeste. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Of course. He's helped Celeste a lot, but can I really trust him? Unemployed Jolie! You guys think it's related to the song? Another baddie has reached the main stage! I revealed a hint of fear and distress from her. Alright, I'm gonna look at the room first. Fancy looking bed! Do you like this? Celeste had a custom made myself in the city. Wouldn't something like this be really expensive? It was! I was really surprised when she returned home from travels. She's making a lot of gold from her job as a mercenary. I'm happy for her, but I still wish she'd do something less dangerous. It's a painting of a woman with a strange animal. The text says, Madeline Kipling. I've always loved that painting. Celeste brought it back from her travels. The girl runs a wildlife sanctuary for endangered species. I think that creature is called a Fakip. They live in a swamp of the Eastern Kingdom. I never knew that creatures like this even existed. This table with several chairs probably used for entertaining guests. It didn't look like it'd seen much use though. Alright, what else is here? This is it? This door leading to the upstairs hallway. Alright, I think that's everything here. Alright, let's talk to Jolene! Talk to Mama McCoy. You can tell me more about your husband? Why did he hate magic so much? I understand that magic is symbol of the nobility, but things sounded different with him. It's as if he thought Celeste had betrayed him somehow. I wasn't there when they were arguing, but I can only imagine what he said to her. He's never had anything good to say about mages, and I could see how much his words indirectly hurt her. Something happened? I don't really know. I don't trust him enough. I shouldn't talk about Effie? Who's Effie? Who's Effie? Does Flintheart's resentment have something to do with Effie? How do you know about her? There shouldn't be any record of what happened. I have my ways of finding out. Of course, you work for Ruby tomorrow. A lawyer's trick! Bluff! What did she do? Did she strong-arm one of the neighbors into talking? We don't need people like her going around Cornhaven opening up old wounds. Flintheart always idolized her, but I could never stand her methods. Is this about the rumors? When my mentors started fighting against the justice system, they bitterly started levying accusation of misconduct against her. They spread rumors that she engaged in bribery, forgery, and blackmail, all to discredit her. Is that really true? She personally taught me how to defend persecuted mages like your daughter. You've seen how I defend Celeste. I'm doing everything honestly and legally. Mr. McCoy, I know you don't know who to trust right now, but I need to know more about Flintheart. I feel like Tyrion is so much better when he's not in the courtroom. When he's in the courtroom, he's like kind of a mess. Right now, I don't have any leads as to who might have done this. Okay, but promise me that you won't mention any of this in court. I don't want Celeste being dragged into another scandal, and I sure as hell don't want any more steel winds showing up in town. I can't make any promises, but my priority will always be to keep your daughter safe. Guess that's as much as I can ask for. Effie was Flintheart's younger sister. Celeste doesn't know about her. She died 20 years ago, and Flintheart never brought her up. What happened? She was friends with the son of the ruling noble back then. He'd always sneak into town to see her. He was so different back then. Are we talking about Mr. Pierce? Effie had always loved magic and reminding her of the fairy tales she read growing up. He'd always show her his spell by the lake, all to make her smile, but he'd been warned not to use his spell without his instructor present. One day, he lost control of one of his spells and wounded Effie. We rushed her back into town, but it was too late. By the time we could dress her wounds, she was already gone. Stories like that were awfully common among the nobility these days. The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. The boy's parents used their influence to cover everything up. They even threatened Flintheart's family into staying quiet. After that, they told the town that Effie had been mauled to death by a wolf. Flintheart's sister! Flintheart McCoy's sister died during an accident involving the local lord and his magic. Ever since then, Flintheart had hated magic and the mages who willed them. Flintheart all but declared war on the nobility after that. He turned our tavern into a meeting place for commoners who shared his resentment. Word spread, and night after night, more and more revolutionaries started showing up to his rallies. It wasn't long before they started planning a revolution. They started contacting like-minded groups in the town nearby. They were even starting to arm themselves. I could only watch as everything unfolded. I heard stories about what the Steel Ones were doing to people like him. I begged him to stop, so did some of the other townfolk. We knew he was going to get all of us killed. I was shocked when the knights told me to be murdered, but I wasn't surprised. I really hoped he let go of his anger when Celeste showed up. It was really starting to change after we adopted her. So about Celeste! Can you tell me more about Celeste? How did she become part of your family? It all happened 19 years ago, a year after Effie's death. We were closing one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. We named her Celeste after the full moon that was out that night. We'd always wanted a child, so I thought she must have been a gift from Scale Lord. But one day I spotted Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that a noble must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care though, I loved her all the same. Flintheart did too. Wait, you knew she was the mage this entire time? I did, you haven't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed it too, but I think that he didn't want to believe it. It's my fault, I should have forced him to see the truth. I spoke with Celeste earlier and she believes her father died hating her. What, he loved her more than anything in the world? They must have been really close, more than anything. Do you want to hear a story? Celeste has just come home from the Eastern Kingdom. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here. He even called in a bunch of favors to do it. In the end, he was only able to get a single bottle of it. Is it really that rare? It's a product of the Eastern Kingdom. It's hard to import anything from outside of Wybengard. I wouldn't be surprised if we're the only bottle of lotus juice in this region. Wait a minute, lotus juice? Is this the bottle that Flintheart brought? Oh no, he was going to surprise her with it. I wonder where it had disappeared to. I found it shattered on the floor in the dining area. That's strange. Celeste would always help herself to our pantry. So he was hiding it in our room. Really? When was the last time you saw it? It was right before I left the house that night. It would have been in his room before their argument. Alright, with the shattered bottle of lotus juice, Linhart McCoy retreated from his room after his argument with Celeste. I've investigated the tavern as much as I could, but there was still one last thing I need to do. It's time to head back to the dungeons and talk to Celeste. Alright, I think we're supposed to show her the lotus juice so she knows her father did not hate her. There's one last thing I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the argument you had with Linhart. I knew what it was like to lose a parent. I'd never be able to carry that burden if I thought my mother had died hating me. I know he was angry with you, but after everything I've heard about you two, I know that he still loved you. Even in his final moments, I'm sure he still cared for you. It looks like it wouldn't be this simple, though. I would need to persuade her if I want her to believe me. Alright. Final argument with her father would be a lasting scar on Celeste. Throughout this entire investigation, I learned how much they cared for each other. I couldn't leave things as they were. Alright, we're gonna start an argument with her. Now you're just trying to make me feel better, but my dad has hated mages. I knew better than anyone. It's always hidden magic. There's no reason behind it. Okay, let's show her. Let's tell her about a sister. I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason why your father hated magic. Decades ago, he had a sister. She was killed by a mage in a tragic accident. That's why he resented magic so much. It ripped away someone that he loved dearly. But that just proves it then, doesn't it? It's selfish of me to learn magic. I know how you thought about it, but I didn't care. I just wanted to get away from my life here. He had every right to be angry at me. I was being selfish. Okay. So we gotta present the fact that she did it for her family. But you didn't learn magic just to benefit yourself, though. You used it to support your family. You gave them hope, and the nobility shut down their tavern. You didn't have a choice. You had a gift, and you used it to your advantage. That's not selfish. Shut up, Tyrion. Why won't you leave me alone? They tried really hard to make her wifey, but the harder they tried, the less I like her. Psst. I have a problem. You weren't there. You didn't hear what he said to me. You didn't see the way he was looking at me. He was only thinking about how I betrayed him. He loved me, he took care of me, and I threw it all away. I chose to become a mage. He would never forgive me for that. Alright, let's show her the lotus juice. Take a look at this picture, Celeste. What's this? Broken glass? It's a bottle of lotus juice. These shards were on the floor of the crime scene. They don't even sell it in Wyvengard. Your father called in a bunch of favors to have it imported for you. He didn't hate you, Celeste. He imported your favorite drink just to make you happy. That still doesn't change anything. If he did that all for me, it was before he knew the truth. That's not true. How could you know how I feel about me? I don't know. I really don't care, Celeste, but the game's making me go through this. I have stopped caring about all of this stuff approximately like 10 minutes ago. Don't you think I want to believe you? Yes, okay, keep going. Celeste, your mother said the bottle was stolen in her room, but I found it shattered in the dining area near where the murder happened. He was holding it when he died. That means he retrieved it after your argument. So why would he have your gift if he was still angry at you? It's because he loved you, Celeste. He knew he lost his temper and hurt you, so he was going to use that gift to apologize to you. Your daughter working as a mercenary of all things. Anyway, we're flashback to the father and daughter conversation. Anyway. I'm losing interest in this conversation. She trailed off. She had barely been keeping it together throughout the whole argument, but her voice began to break and she broke along with it. She paused for a moment, trembling, then she slowly fell against me. She gripped me tightly, everything from the last few days finally crashing down on her. I was sure I was the last person she wanted to comfort her, but I was the only one there. She held back her grief for so long. She was strong, much stronger than I had been. I hesitated, unsure of how to respond. I just held her as her quiet sobs echoed softly throughout the cell. Okay. I did as she asked. I wasn't sure if it was enough, but I held her tightly. She wiped her eyes, they were still red, but she smiled at me and wasn't forced this time. Do you need water? Just thought, I figured you lost fluids. You might be dehydrated. Celeste started out a laugh. I felt silly, but something about seeing her laugh left me flustered. Is everything really going to be okay? I don't know! It will be. I'll get you that acquittal no matter what. Oh, Tyrion. Always the optimist. You're so lucky you have the power of the MC vested in you. She giggled to herself. Anyways, you should rest. The trial's going to resume soon. I learned as much as I could about what happened, but I had to assume that Steelwind had done the same. Who knew what the prosecution had in store for us? I just had to hope that I'd stack the boards in my favor. Alright, we're gonna continue at a later time. Because if we keep going, we're gonna be like an hour over time, and I don't want to do that. So. That was the beginning of I don't know how to say his name, man. Tyrion Cuthbert, attorney of the Arcane. I was a lot more excited in the beginning than I am later on the game because I'm sad that my hot man is the murderer. I'm gonna have to put him away in jail, and I lost all my motivation. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going because that's what we're gonna do. That's just what we're gonna do because I'm a loser, not a quitter. I'm not gonna quit the game. I'm just gonna be sad and be a loser. That is it for tonight. That is it for tonight. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be back on Wednesday with Batman Arkham City. So, we'll see where that takes us. This game flips me between interesting and what a headache of a game. Yeah, like parts of it is really good. But then parts of it is kind of cringe and awkward. And, it's odd. Parts of it is odd and part of it is quite good. So I don't know. We'll keep going though. We'll keep going. Have a good night. Thank you, Muto. You too. It was fun regardless. I'm glad you had a good time, Mr. Two. I'm glad you had a good time. Yeah, that is it for tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate you all. I hope it was fun for you. Despite my, depresso at the hot guy. But it is what it is. But yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. PDT with Batman. Good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.